That's what the track is.
If you ain't talking money, then I don't wanna talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks off singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys. Catch them slipping and slang them.
Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025, February 9, 2025, at Laven Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an award ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. From 8 p.m., the diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 YouTube categories. and many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
Welcome once again to another live edition of We-On-Loc Nation, aka the Lock Sector. Yeah, everyone doing good. Everyone doing good. Everyone doing great. How do I start this off? I guess I can start asking the proper question, the hard question, what they call it. Are Black people lost in the wilderness? And I'm starting to ask of this because we're scattered all over the place. We are literally scattered all over the place. 1 minute, we're talking about segregation, talking about reparations, talking about are Black people worse off where they were back in slavery because we had families and all this and all this. And I wonder, are we lost in the wilderness? We can't seem to agree on something and move forward with it. Right. Lapeef is the prime example, in my opinion, of what I would call the Lost Boys. Because apparently, and I have nothing against the Lapeef network, as they're still going strong, right? I have nothing against them. What the problem with me, as it pertains to what certain topics that they talk about, and the previous one, I guess they were talking about culture because somebody in the rap world passed away. I don't know who it was. People in the rap culture nowadays, they die off of stupid ass reasons. I mean, Grandmaster Jay or Jam Master Jay was the only one that I could ever respect because apparently he did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was just doing his thing. And apparently he got blasted by, a particular brother, but we know who manipulated him, who put the gun in his hand. We all know this. We all know this, but some of us act as if we're the culprit of this whole situation. If you think that we're the culprit of the whole situation where we get, Fred Hampton killed, Malcolm X killed, Nipsey Hussle killed, then you're insane and you need your self-check. Someone had to give him the money. Someone had to be the influencer. Check those Negroes. Check those Negroes. We don't want the next Black Messiah to arise. We don't want a culture of Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's giving us issues. So you know what? We don't want those people around anymore. But we, as in white supremacy, don't want to get our hands dirty. Except for these stupid ass Klansmen and these skinheads are still around, or excuse me, they're called the alt-right. The alt-right who are still around to this day to make a mockery of what we're trying to do as an elitist here in America. We want to make everything American for the Americans, our American as how we see it today. So you manipulate a couple people, put some money in their hand, and black folks are let to do the dirty work for them. And I'm not saying that we actually forgive these type of people, the William O'Neills of the world. We don't. But some of these dudes out here starting to act like William O'Neills. Sad to say, but and then there's the Thomas Sowells of the world. I had to really dig down deep on Thomas Sowell. Had to really dig down deep because I don't know too much about him. All I know is he's the author of the book Black Rednecks and White Liberals. And before I am going to give 100% judgment of what I read, before I get there, I want to read this particular book. But before I could get to it, they are already, the Peep is already talking about culture, and his name just happened to come up. His name just happened to be there. You know what I'm saying? So without wasting any time, before I get into it, I want everybody to hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you can, if the membership is on there, I don't know if it is or not. I haven't checked. But if you have not became a member, if you know somebody who would like to become a member, please let them know. Become a member of We-On-Loc Nation. Oh, without further ado, let's get this thing popping because we got other stuff to get into. Let's do it. Fair use.
Doesn't align with what I want to intake.
All right, I want to start rolling in these clips. I'm going to start rolling in these clips. It's still along the same lines about the culture. But this is the clip that I sent. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? Sent it to everybody now. All right, this was from Thomas. So yep. I do have some clips I'm going to go ahead and break up just to add to the conversation. All right, so this is, it's not being black. It's a way of life. Unfortunately, the way of life is being celebrated not only in rap music, but among the intelligentsia. How you say that word? Like intellectual, like intelligent.
Intelligentsia.
Okay, intelligentsia. There we go. It's a way of life that leads to a lot of very big problems for most people.
I mean, the average of black kid today, I think, is probably better off, certainly materially, than say Ben Carson was when he was growing up.
Ben Carson, the famous
black
surgeon at Johns Hopkins.
Right.
Who is immensely accomplished in every way.
Yes.
Right.
I would say that certainly the black kids who are growing up today have a higher material standard of living than I had. The difference was that the schools were good when I came along. They were especially good in New York at that time, hard as that is to believe. But the kids who grew up in that same place where I lived, they will not get that same education. Now that can be blamed on somebody, but it has very little to do with what happened 100 or 200 years ago. And it's true in other countries. I mean, in Nigeria, for example, there's a tribe, the Igbos, who are living in one of the least fertile parts of Nigeria, who were in fact enslaved in centuries past by other tribes and so on. when the British moved in and set up schools, the Igbos went for the schools. By the time Nigeria became independent, the Igbos had climbed above the other groups that had been ahead of them to begin with. So, but there are all kinds of cross currents of factors. The particular culture, or the particular geography. You run through the whole list of them.
All right. I got some more clips I'm gonna roll through, but who want to go next on this?
I used to I listened to one of his books. I was into it, and then something about like once you like historians are great, but you got to see what angle they're coming from sometimes. Because then I had to go back and say like, is he going to explain away everything, excuses for everything? So that's a thing with who you listen to. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, he not.
Yeah,
He an economist with theory that is dismissive of history because he wants to run with it now. That's to your point.
and he just struck me as one of them old dudes that just because you don't understand and identify with the culture and the music and this, that, and the other, you demonize it. The same ones that were trying to what's that machine they were using back in the 90s, crushing all the CDs, talking about gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, come on, man, relax. Again, that's expression. You feel me? That's artistic expression. And again, I just don't feel like that is something that we can start pointing to blame our problems on.
You know what? You know what didn't exist? Gangster with Ben Carson when he was growing up. Gangster rap wasn't a huge thing, but he sure didn't stop him from trying to stab one of his friends with his rage issues, as he wrote about their hands. So
yeah,
can't blame that, and he still figured out a way to mature past that point. I think the part that we got lost with is, yes, degenerative behavior promoted, engaged in, accepted is a problem. In sentence, we agree. The thing that no, they agree with that. The thing that was I guess you could say pushing the button was to highlight it and say it's Black culture that is the the pinnacle of that, is to put all of that onto Black culture, is the thing they were fighting against. And it forced them into a position where they had to seem like they were defending degenerative behavior when it really was defending Black people and Black culture. That I think that's the part that was lost. And because they had to keep doubling down to defend Black people, Black culture, in the way that the argument was phrased, it seemed as though they were promoting those things or accepted them. I know for a fact Sweeney, and I know for a fact Law is not going to promote any way, shape, or form are they promoting that behavior? They understand circumstances, and sometimes things happen in these ways, and there's a story behind things, and it's nuance to certain situations, but it's always wrong. We can agree it's wrong. We are clearly saying it's wrong, but to just dump on black culture is not something that either one of the brothers or myself would want to stand up and continuously do.
Marcus,
Exactly. Thank you, bro.
didn't it also sound like, I'm not gonna name them out, didn't it sound like they were defending black people from other black people? Like they were defending hip hop artists from people who become a victim of some of their promotion, their influences, and their actions. Didn't that sound like that to you? It's almost like,
That's why I say the argument
it's, if I could use a parallel, it's not necessarily a metaphor. It's similar to the same thing.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was on the phone. What I was gonna say is what we know of black culture today, quote unquote. Well, let me say this. What I perceived black culture to be is expression, right? Expressing yourself. Today, it's a little too much. Today, what people would consider today's black culture is pretty much out of control and needs to be balanced. It just needs to start anew. If we can praise a black, I don't even know half these people. If we can praise a Future, if we can praise a Lil Wayne or some shit like that, we can definitely balance it out and go after the Lupe fiascos, the Kendrick Lamar's, what I consider Kendrick Lamar to be hip hop. I consider Most Def to be hip hop. Now LL's coming back. I don't know why, but I mean he is considered the GOAT. So I guess we do what we do to try to balance the whole culture out, because we coming out with the Sexy Reds, the Gorillas, and then some new rappers coming out of the woodwork, and it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. If we can figure out some way to have a more bigger influence than these people, we can stop this rap culture from existing, because it doesn't need to exist. I don't need to see you shaking your ass for the whole thing. If I need to see ass being shaken, I even go to my wife, or I'll go to that damn strip club to see an ass shake. I mean, you don't know what that does, and you don't know what that does to children. But let's continue.
If someone says, "Hey, man, black on black crime is bad," you know what I'm saying? We got to stop killing each other. The tactic that's used today by a number of people is, well, white people kill each other too at a worse rate. Like, why do we always gotta group people in our own misery?
Can I answer that question for you?
Because the term black on black crime is a myth.
Oh,
crime is crime.
It's a myth. It's called crime. It's proximity crime. You usually get into it or have issues with your neighbor. So depending on who you're around, that's usually who you're going to have the issue with. I can't beef with somebody if I'm never around them. But we don't say white on white crime. It's just crime, right?
Okay,
We say black on black crime because that's the way it's portrayed to us. And black on black crime is a myth. It's just simply crime.
So let me ask you this. How many of y'all got neighbors? When's the last time y'all walked outside and your neighbor said, "Fuck you, you ain't shit"?
Come on, bro.
Okay, I ain't gonna be disingenuous. I'm pulling one of y'all tactics. So let me revert back. What I'm trying to do is, okay, somebody stated that.
Before he goes on and I'm not saying that he's a bad guy, but sometimes it's like, ugh, why this? It's just not that. But anyway, to answer the question, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's worked before. It's been done before. Boycotting, all that stuff is being done before. I forgot what the lady's name was, but her and like almost 100 people bought records when NWA was around, and they started smashing the CDs. All you're doing is putting money in their pocket. It's just smashing CDs. That's not shutting them up. That's making them rich. If you do that, that would be the most craziest thing you can ever do. So, in order for the boycott, you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to look at them either. But most of these dudes are so horny and high up, they literally just see draws. But I am glad that most of these people look the other way, because what's coming down the street is pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. But he is right about one thing. It is a social construct when you talk about black on black crime. Whites kill each other on a limb, and it's not reported. But there is a thing called media, and the media is possibly one of the possible reasons why we're so in our own way. That's one of the main reasons why we're so stuck and standstill. And this is the reason why I asked the question: are we lost in the wilderness? Are we completely lost?
Where is the proof? Or I think somebody argued with Chanel about proof. We have proof that drugs can take a life. And somebody stated how hard it is to get you off of specific drugs. And my only question was, if you know that, and these people are aware that if you get on these specific drugs, that there's no way to return. I think Cheryl stated it perfect. Your family member is pretty much gone. Your child, this is somebody's son, is pretty much gone. It's over with. If we know that and we pick up a microphone and we promote it, isn't it safe to say that the person that's promoting that drug, knowing that it can influence people to go and do it, because we got to face it, young kids today pick up drugs because they think it's cool. I even remember one time when I was young and in school, and I puffed a cigarette because I thought it was cool. I saw artists, I saw actors, all kind of things smoke a cigarette. I was like, oh, that's cool. That must be cool. They think it's cool. So I'm gonna ask again: if you promote drugs and you know that the people that listen to you are influenced by you, they inspired you, they look at you as God on the microphone, and they will do everything you do. They would dress like you, cut their hair like you, dye a little spot in their fro like you, like the Wiz Khalifa era. Are you anti-black? I rest my case.
First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Lisa. Lisa's been a good moderator or whatever, and she comes up with awesome questions and awesome answers. This right here is tick for tack bullshit. And I'll tell you why. It's the same thing as pointing the finger at me with my Nat Turner sweater on and saying, are you anti-baby? Are you anti-abortion? do you believe Nat Turner did the right thing by killing the men and the women and the children? What does that say to everybody else in the Black culture? I'll tell you what it says. It says this: anybody who threatens the Black family, and I'm especially talking about in white culture, deserves to get got. We ain't taking none of this stuff anymore. But see, you like to focus on that thereof, which is a person picking up some weed and smoking it and calling themselves anti-Black or whatever the case. And I will counter that and say also Cheech and Chong was no, I'm not gonna even say that. I'm not gonna even say that. How about this? If I were to go ahead and rob you blind, or can I smoke this joint? Because one thing that I learned about certain things, learning psychology, is that these young cats are angry. These young cats are angry. They're upset, and they're on their purpose because of what's happening in the economy and what's happening everywhere else. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to take away the one thing that can slow them down to a little bit. Take something away from them. Take something away from the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers, and some of the millennials. The one thing that could keep them focused, even though weed, you're pretty much all over the place. They need something to keep them focused, because if they don't have something to stimulate themselves, guess what? It doesn't matter who's in front of you. It could be white, Black, Hispanic, whoever. They're tired. And this election, this ain't good. This is not good. This election is worse because we are not preparing them for what is. For example, the right or no matter if it's the right or the left, we want to prepare our children and our children's children for the futures ahead. And yes, we are tired of voting Democrat. Yes, we are. We are tired of voting Democrat. We are tired of police brutality. We are tired of getting beat up and brought up and having these these immigrants come into the country and happen to steal our shit. No, we're not going for it anymore. But the one thing you want to take away from us is our way to express ourselves? And you're calling us anti-Black? I hope that's not the case. I just hope not.
That's
Let
when
me
you
ask, let me say this.
You did that, Bruiser. You did that.
Let me say this. This is the problem that I'm actually having. Is art imitating life, or is life imitating art? I believe that art imitates life. These people are rapping about the shit that they live.
Yeah.
Very rare do I hear them go out their way to say, hey kids, do drugs just like me. They're not saying that. They're rapping about their lives and what they do. Just like we see art every single day that talks that it's art. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. it's your job to either not listen to it, or if you have go and listen to music without actually doing the shit that they hear in music, that's your job to make sure that they don't listen to it because you have impressionable ass kids. However, it's their art. Either don't listen to it, but to sit here and tell them and to second of all, put it on black people as if we're the only group that promotes music. First of all, I don't hear artists promote drug use. They talk about what they do. I hear them say what they do, but they don't go out their way to tell people you need to do drugs just like me. In fact, Eminem for decades literally was a parody of that, telling parents, I'm not telling your kids to do drugs. They're already doing it. I'm just talking about what I do.
Have y'all ever seen a commercial before?
Don't they got the same moms and dads that got mad when they said it like violence?
Have you ever seen
You know
a
what I'm
commercial
saying?
before, Sweeney? You've seen a commercial, right? What is the
Sure.
purpose of the commercial? Right? They're trying
Who
to show
said
you
music is a commercial?
but is it not though? When you are having a video promo,
No, it's not.
Literally says promo.
Music literally is commercial music. Literally, they call it the music you hear on the radio is commercial music. Literally. Literally.
How
to sell what? What are they selling?
And that Sherrod is literally the definition of music on the radio.
What are they
Commercial
selling?
music.
If you're
That's
a
the
barber,
question.
But
What are they
listen,
selling?
What do you sell? Because if you're a barber, you're gonna make sure your hair is cut, right? You're not telling people
What
hey,
is the
come
music
come to
selling?
my barber. Are you interrupting me?
I'm asking a question because I'm asking you, what is the music
I'm
selling?
telling you, you do it yourself. Everybody
What
sells
is the
something,
music?
right?
Not don't talk
You're
about me.
selling
What
your
is the
image.
music selling?
I can't
The
tell you.
music is selling culture.
The music
It's selling
is selling
culture.
The music is either selling
selling
life
hair.
culture
They're
or
selling the
selling that
music.
culture.
No, it's not.
Yes, they are.
No,
The
How many
music-
songs
the
have
music-
any of y'all ever
The
made?
mu-
How many
first of all,
songs have
the
any of y'all
the
ever made
music
or
is-
put
the
on the
music is
radio?
either
How
selling-
many
the music
pieces
is
of art
selling
have
life.
you?
In order, I have to understand this. In order for when it comes to the culture, the music sells itself. The artist promotes the music. The music sells itself. That's just it is what it is. It is what's going to be. And depending upon who's listening to it, hey, Bridge, depending on who's listening to it, if they pick, if a majority of white folks pick up on it, a majority of black folks pick up on it, it's going to sell. So therefore, you're selling the music.
You all
Yeah, come back,
create.
I can't hear.
How
So
are you
I can't
gonna
hear.
ask the question and don't want the answer? The
They don't
music is
listen. They
selling
wanna be so
culture.
emotional.
It's either selling some form of life culture where you have your J. Cole's, who are some of them, they're painting stories. This ain't no Slick Rick story. And then you have the ones who are promoting that culture.
Hey, Sherelle, chill with the Slick Rick stuff. I'm saying, chill. Slick Rick is hip hop. We all know.
We're not telling you to get rid of everything. We're not telling you to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're telling you the niggas who are selling that culture to their people are anti-fucking black. And if you standing up and promoting that shit, you need to question yourself too.
They probably anti-black too.
They're selling music, man. That's the point. Like I said, I stand on that. Y'all keep talking about they selling
They're
everything.
selling
They're
their
selling
art
their
to try and get them out of the situation.
They're selling their
To
art.
get themselves out of whatever situation.
Not everything is art, sir. Sir, not everything is art. You having an Uzi, or excuse me, you having a Drago, and you're showing it to everybody is not art. You're actually painting like the Treacherous Five, what they did. That's art, old school or not. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. That's art. Because they are painting a actual picture. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, Wicked, painting a picture. We have to look at things for what they truly are. And I go back to Lupe Fiasco in today's time. Lupe Fiasco. When I first heard Kick Push, that's culture. Believe it or not, what he's paying today is still culture. And I wish these two would make a record together because it would be so hype. If Kendrick Lamar and Lupe Fiasco made one goddamn record one time together, that would smash the internet because these two are lyrically sound. It's like with most definitely, no one can actually stop them. But see, y'all like that, but not y'all, but y'all like the one ass starts shaking, is showing their butt plugs, and that's basically. If I had my way, I'll take my belt off and I'll start whooping everyone's ass. I'll whoop Sexy Red's ass with my belt. And them booty cheeks are gonna have some belt marks on them. But today it's like, oh, you touch my child, I'll call the police. Call the police. Call the police, and I'll bet you I'll be out the next day doing it again.
I got a question.
They're not putting the music out.
But by the way, not everything is art.
I'm saying, hey, I'm putting this music out for you to buy drugs.
I got a question, Sweeney, and I want you to be genuine about this.
Go ahead.
Because fellas, y'all expose the hypocrisy. And I'm a men accountability guy. I talk to men all the time. I'm always trying to talk about self-improvement. I really want you to answer this, no jokes, no games. So if we could look at women, black women, whatever, women, and say that OnlyFans models are horrible or strippers or hoe culture is horrible, and they're just living their own reality, and they're influencing our daughters to go out there and bust it wide open.
Hold on. You act like black folks started that. You act like black folks just came out the blue and said, or excuse me, black women came out the blue and said, hey, we're going to start our OnlyFans. It was actually white folks that actually did it because they wanted to make money. They wanted to make money. Soon thereafter, black folks followed, and I have to tell you, they don't make as much money. The actual princesses, the darlings, are white folks. But that doesn't excuse black folks for doing that either. Just to put that out there on the forefront. And it's not like that black women had jobs either. You accuse them of having jobs. You want them to stay home, right? What happens when you stay home? You get bored. You want them to do the cooking, all the cooking, and all the cleaning, and all the blah, 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 blah. So what happens when you stay home? You get bored. And when you get bored, you get tired. And you see all these white folks working their dicks to the bone to get money, you forget black women were not allowed to have a paycheck. So black women and black men have been working since the beginning of time. So what's the big deal? Oh, but no, they're not allowed to have money. So you're crippling them out of financial. You're trying to get them financially illiterate. Is that what I'm hearing? I hope that's not the case. And again, I'm not excusing OnlyFans. I'm not excusing, but how else am I going to make my bread? Because apparently, Antoine and Joe Blow don't want to take care of their kids, or they got arrested and they're going to prison, and they have the nerve to tell their baby mama, don't do nothing, don't sell that thing until I come home. No one's to touch that until I come home, which is what, 10, 20 years from now? So they got to do what they got to do. So blame them. Blame the baby fathers who don't want to take care of their kids. Not all.
They're influencing our nieces to go out there and turn tricks and say, fuck education, I'm going to go get $50,000 a month. Why can we as men denounce women whenever they do that, but we can't denounce men when they pick up a microphone and promote the same level of influence that can it's not even what women are doing is not even causing death. It's just causing bad behavior and making them incompatible for relationships. But the shit we doing as majority men is fucking killing ourselves, killing our children, killing our people, man.
So all right.
So if we can,
they started promoting whole culture first too.
If we can hold women accountable and say
the
stuff you participate in, the stuff you participated in is causing an issue in our generation.
Show me a song.
We can't say the same thing to the men.
Show me a song where they're telling kids go out and do drugs. Where they're saying, "Hey kids, this is fun. Go do it." Show me a song.
So,
Future. What is he promoting? I wish I had whatchamacallit up here, because he's better at this than I am, even though he's a bit of a coon himself. So Future promotes syrup, scissor, or whatever you call that shit. But even though he promotes drugs, but he's not doing it. Make that make sense. You're promoting drugs in your music, but you're not doing it. No, I'm not gonna go there with Wiz Khalifa, because Wiz Khalifa, all he does is smoke weed. He's the same as Snoop, so I'm not gonna even go there. But the Little Nas X's. What does Little Nas X promote? And he's not even hip hop. He's not even rap. But what does he promote? Gayism. Gayism, but he's not really gay. He's just doing it just to get a paycheck. Oh, wow. Here's the balancing part. It's like I said, Lupe Fiasco. Good guy. Kendrick Lamar. Good guy. Even though he's part of the blood culture, he's part of the blood culture, but he finds a way to balance it out. He always finds a way to balance it out. There are so many good influences out there, but the way it works is, if you don't promote what the white man wants you to promote, then you don't get his love. Ice Cube, old school, right? Jam Master Jay, Jam Master Flash. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Hot damn, if Tupac were alive today, if Biggie Smalls were alive today, they would be so disappointed. So freaking disappointed in rap culture. Because that's all it is. It's a big difference between rap culture and hip hop culture. Let's continue.
And
Sweetie, you always trying to
I get
insult
the
people's
point.
intelligence. Because ain't nobody saying that.
Show me a song that says that.
Sweetie,
because
I'm
that's-
gonna just give you an example. I'm gonna
because
give you an
here's the
example
difference. Hold on,
of
wait,
the
'cause
point
here's
they're
the
making.
difference. Because when you listen to girls who talk about OnlyFans, they literally tell other girls they need to go start an OnlyFans. They literally tell other girls, hey, you should try stripping. They literally are putting their daughters in front of the camera and putting them on pose. That's the difference. So when we
And
talk
King
about
Von is literally saying, if you don't have no bodies, you better go get you some. If you don't have no
Name the
homies,
song.
you better go get you some. If you ain't never
So-
did nothing, you better go do it.
Drill.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about King Von. That and Sherelle is 100% correct. Although I would love for Sherelle to balance it out. I would rather listen to, God dang it, I'd rather listen to KRS-One than have to listen to a freaking King Von. I don't even have to go there. I would rather listen to Drake, because Drake ain't about that life. Come on, Disney, Drake, Disney, the Disney guy. I would rather listen to Disney than to listen to King Von. I wouldn't even have it, even though he got smashed. I would listen to Drake all day, every day, right? Then have to listen to King Von because King Von promotes killing. But they say words have power. Just in case y'all don't know this, words do have power. And it comes with a spirit. So each time you say, I want to kill this person, I'm going to kill that person if they don't give me my respect, blah, 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 and you sitting there laughing about it just like Homegirl did, and Homegirl got smashed. I ain't going to mention no names, but Homegirl got smashed the very next day. Sat in a damn chair because she was promoting her album, and lo and behold, somebody came to see it. And she got blasted, and she's no longer here. King Von promoted his stuff. His Party Had a Kingdom got blasted. He's no longer here. That's not culture. That's stupidity. The culture I'm talking about is when Kendrick Lamar expresses the ghettos of the world. He expressed, not even ghettos of the world. He expressed his life in general. What does Lupe do? He expresses life, and that's the only people that I listen to. If I want to do something fun, if I want to listen to this fun, I listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony or something. I'll listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony. Hell, I'll listen to Twista. I met Twista. Twista's a good guy. Twista's a good fucking guy. I seen Future in the hallway one time. I didn't even bother. But people were coming up to him and shit was up, whatever. He has security with him. Twista didn't have security with him. Twista had his friends. He don't have to have security. Oh, I almost forgot. Red and Meth. Red Man, as in Red Man and Method Man. You know, MATHOD, man. They're hip hop. Wu-Tang is hip hop. Both Thugs and Harmony believe it. Believe it or not, it's hip hop. Even though they've been murder. That's just the expression of it. They never murdered anybody. But they know not, the people know not to mess with them. But they don't want to hurt nobody. They just want to make music. Lazy started all that. And then it went to Lazy, Crazy, then Busy came along and Wished and Flesh. I love those guys because their expression is the poetry of all that. That when they come with that Chicago, Twisted, same thing, but he's in Chicago. He's come with that Chicago flow. That's what's so fun about the music. But when Eminem comes along and takes that, what Eminem is doing is taking the very thing that y'all did, and he's turning it into something a little bit more greater. I don't know why, I don't know how, but people pay attention to it. And I often said, if he wasn't who he was, would people pay attention to him? And of course, you know, the people of Detroit, they support him. Royce the 5'9s. I like Royce the 5'9. The tricks of the world. All them Detroit niggas. Them my dogs. But hey, at some point we got to look at it for what it is and say, if we were to look at Eminem right now, back then when his first LP came out, I did you like eyelids? You want to reach 9 inch? You want to see 9-inch nails at least one of my eyelids? Do coding and do worse than I did? That became a hit. If that did not, if that just went bye-bye, would we be really paying attention right now? What would we be paying attention to? I'm going on my rant.
Music literally promotes death and killing.
All right. Them girls saying go get money. That boy saying go kill people. What are you talking
All
about?
right. Listen to the point.
And Elise Hopper.
All right.
Elise Chopper. There's a teenager right here.
All right, look, I get the point that y'all saying because all right, so here's the point they're making. So there's influence, right? No matter if they are directly saying it or not. When Nelly came out and he said, I'm stomping in my Air Force Ones, he didn't say go buy these Air Force Ones. However, the price is nearly doubled for the Air Force Ones when it happened. When Busta Rhymes said pass the Cavassier, he didn't say go buy this Cavassier. However, it was influential to the point where people were like, all right, you know what? They cut him a check. He said they cut him a check for it. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to say, look, I'm popping perks, I'm doing my lean. And Future, by the way, claims that he doesn't do lean or perks or anything, but promotes it any damn way, which is absurd. But it's not out of the realm of possibility to say that it has some type of an influence on younger people or even older people just because of what they're saying, right? My only point against that, which is not even necessarily against that, is that I don't think that it's the catalyst or the main catalyst for people using drugs. I think that it's horrible that it is what it is, and people are going to take that influence. But I don't think that that's the main thing that's happening. I think that there are so many other circumstances that are causing people to use drugs. But if you want to attack it, you can, because I understand why people would say that there is influence behind it, because it's almost undeniable when you take into consideration when people put things out and they could literally monetize it without making a direct commercial for it.
Yes, it's 100% influence involved.
Please acknowledge what Trav said. Thank you, Trav.
Yes, it is one.
All I was trying to say.
It's 100% influence. I can acknowledge that it does exist. I think the point Sweeney Me-On-Loc was making was in regards to majority. Now, when you bring Future up, I think that's a specific case where that is more of a problem than the other thing. And I'm gonna explain why I say that. If you don't do something and then promote it as a lifestyle that you live onto other people, I could see you make a argument that person is trying to be intentionally harmful. Now, people who are describing their everyday life can only describe their everyday life. If this is literally how they live, they're just explaining, they're giving you their biography in musical form. Like niggas acting like I told you sell drugs. No, Hove did that. So hopefully you won't have to go through that. I was raised in the projects, roaches and rats, smokers out back, selling their mama's sofa. When they was talking about, he said, I give you the news with a twist. It's just his ghetto point of view. They was voicing a way they viewed the world to the world. Now, if you're not from that, and then you start to push that and promote that, then I can see all of that. And I'm not saying that it's a positive influence. I'm saying it's their artistic expression from the only thing they know, from the way most of the rap.
This is what I always say about Jay-Z. When he sold drugs, he at least didn't sell them to kids. He didn't sell drugs to kids. He just sold it to the crackheads who needed to re-up or something like that just to make money. I'm not saying it is wrong. I'm not saying it's, or excuse me, I'm not saying it is right. But in a place where it's poverty stricken and everything, and people are going check to check, food stamps to food stamps, and you got Ronald Reagan coming down and just declaring, I'm gonna do something for black people, which I don't know if he did or he didn't, because if he did, then we were having 40 acres and a mule and $100.
Was raised and how they made ends meet, or how they lived and how they cope with things. Like I think when I was like 12 when I smoked my first blunt, it wasn't rap that made me smoke my first blunt. It was my father had died and I was dealing with a whole lot of other shit and I needed a release. I didn't get the idea from music. That's not where that came from.
Thank you, Marcus.
Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all. The black kids and the white kids, the same. Quoting intellectuals and race, Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany, and now you're quoting Professor Flynn, grew up in a nation with no black subculture, close quote. Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this
No, the expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So they had.
There's no gangster rap that was pervasively available in Germany.
So here's what I'm getting. There is something about black subculture in America today that holds African Americans themselves back?
Yes. In fact, I went into this in a previous book on which about black rednecks and white liberals, because that same subculture.
Let's talk about two of your books here. Go ahead.
Because that very same subculture held whites in the South back as well. That in the time this mental testing.
George Carlin, although if I were to play George Carlin, I get dinged. I don't know why. It's YouTube. YouTube is funny like that. But anyway, I guess they're doing all types of promotional things and soup commercials, and they want to get paid. And on top of that, you get paid as well, but you get paid pennies on the dollar. So at this particular one, oh, I lost some train of thought. On this particular one, he promotes criticism. I never saw this before. Back in the days, I used to see this and this and this and this and this and this, and it's like, well, what's going on in the world today? was like, I just liked it when Dr. Cleo Muhammad was here, and he had control of the black thought, because once he had said something, you were in tune by it, and he didn't promote anything wrong. He was promoting revolutionary, which practically none of us have. But anyway,
in the First World War turned up, among other things, the fact that whites from various 4 or 5 southern states scored lower on the mental test than blacks from 4 or 5 northern states. And so it really was a question of the subculture that was there, which was a handicap to both.
And I read that book, and he goes on to say that we get our culture from the rednecks in the South.
Is that Ben Carson?
Mm-mm.
No, that's not him.
So he is
who?
Thomas
Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
If you want to see some alt-right dudes talk about how blacks are inferior and that we have no culture and shit, he gonna be one of the people they cite.
I don't know if they gave him
What
checks or something.
can we focus on the message and figure out if that was substantial or not? Because that's the second time. I think Law did it the first time. He kind of just discredited him with a
His
strong
research
opinion.
was
Even
not
really,
way off though. Like I agree with you, Bruiser. Like his research is not you could take it's like almost like chew the meat, spit the bone. Some of it you can go back and find the same research, but it doesn't mean his conclusions are accurate. But I do believe that the whole redneck culture that we get it from the South, we talk like that's how we learned some of our slang, how we acted was from them, and they have poor results, and they were treated poorly by regular white people, which is why they call them, poor white trash and all of that stuff, because just the way they act and the way they are like loose, and the way the same certain things that you find in our culture, we got it from them.
Jesus fucking.
well, that's unfortunate.
That's what he said.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
what I heard him make a statement, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. With the Germany comparison, when the black man go and have his kids or whatever family in Germany or something, it sounded like this was a case of you can take the nigga out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the nigga.
That ain't what he said at all.
Well, I'm saying it kind of.
No, what he said was that these black kids in Germany somehow came out better than the black kids that would have grown up in America because they were not exposed to black culture. That's what
I
he was
listened to it, and he didn't say that. He said that the IQ showed no difference, and because that the black kids in America listen to hip hop, and then I guess the guy that was interviewing him tried to make the case that the black kids that are born.
Lisa, how well, or if you know it all, Thomas Sowell, if you know him at all, any at all,
born in Germany or whatever, and I think the professor that he was interviewing said, well, the black kids in Germany have access to the same music or the same culture.
No, that's not what he
why
said.
there's no.
You misheard him.
That's what I said. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I heard. I heard there was no difference in IQ. He didn't say that. He didn't say they had better IQ. He said there was no difference. It showed no difference.
He said there's no access to the hip hop, to the gangster rap.
I thought he said it was. I don't know what is the term pervasive.
Well,
he used the term pervasive. They have a pervasive.
Pervasive is like heavily influenced.
Right.
So that means that they do. The kids, the black kids that were growing up in Germany did have access to.
No, that's not what he said.
No, he said they didn't have access to gangster rap. He was basically saying that there were no differences between the black kids and white kids in Germany.
We listen to every aspect of black music.
But you just
hip hop is only promoted outside of as a large genre.
And
that doesn't mean that it's a heavy.
That's the issue. The whole world only sees one little part. That's the issue. It's like if we're talking about our image, we got to clean that up so the whole world, we know that that's not all we are, but the rest of the world think that's all we are.
So, and the thing is that Fair enough. The rest of the world thinks that that's all we are.
You got to remember that black culture. My bad. You know what I'm saying, but black culture, bro, y'all got to remember we are very well versed, right? You know what I'm saying? Anything that we do is going to be looked at as like what it is. Hip hop is a small, like you said, it's a genre of it, but R&B is just as widespread. You know what I'm saying? Across the world, when you go other places, they want to look and act like us. It's not just hip hop. And this is going all the way.
Yes, they take everything and they make it just as good or better for their culture. I don't know where we went wrong. I guess if there wasn't no such thing as what you call it, the Freaknik. But then again, you got kids coming out of college, and you have kids going into college. You have freshmen coming in. You have seniors coming out, and all they want to do is have a good time. Understandable, but in that link between that, the seniors going out and the freshmen coming in on Freaknik time, what happened in between that? Because Freaknik, all I know is just music from the South Boys, the South Side Boys or whatever, and Uncle Luke and just dancing to the tune of the beat or whatever. What went wrong is what we have to figure out.
Way back to days of before there was rap. You know what I'm saying? You look at women like Lena Horne and some of the black actresses and the black music, like rock and roll came from us. That wasn't hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to look and act like us because of what we put out. It's not just about hip hop. It's just that we like to demonize hip hop now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's in the forefront. That's what represents our era.
Law, you're right about that, but back in the day, all of it was being pushed out. We had black movies, we had black shows, we had positive things, we had Family Matters, we had all these positive things. Now all of a sudden, it's just seeing only these negative things are pushed out to the rest of the world. That's not our fault. It's not our fault, but it is what they're using. They're weaponizing us against us. That's the issue.
What?
But yeah, Ruth. But I don't think that's true. You saying like we don't have good positive images right now of black folks, and I think that's that's not true.
No,
we
I'm
know
not saying
well. We have films, we have music, we have movies, we have just you can find at this point you can find whatever you want, whatever type of music you want. You can find whatever type of movies that you want.
It, but it's pushed on like it's like an algorithm for the world. They're only getting the negative part. So we as a people, what can we do? We can put our money behind pushing out positive images of ourselves, promoting positive movies out there. We can do that
That's tough. And I wish I had other people to actually. Well, let me say this. There are some positives out there, but just to let you know, all the Martins, all the what's happenings, all the good times, all the Jeffersons, all this, all of those things are gone. Even the girlfriends. I don't know why I watched that, but all of that stuff is gone. And it's gone for a reason. But friends can stay for 10 years. Friends can just stay for a whole 10 years. As the rest of the black TV shows can just die off after 3-4 years. The max is 3 years. But some of it made it to one more extra year, like the Martins, right? It's a trick bag, but like I said, if Cosby were to get his own network, I bet you there'll be more Cosby. There will be a plethora of wannabe Cosby shows, wannabe Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, wannabe what you call it, a different world out there. A Different World was one of my shows because it had a diaspora of black folks. It was a balanced show, basically. It was a balanced show. It had it had good times, bad times, lessons learned. Go for what you know. Show me your true colors. Type of a genre. It had drama. It had tears. It had education. Same thing with the Cosby Show. It's the same thing with the Cosby Show. But it was looking too good. Remember all the Johnny and I'll just say this and I'll shut up. Remember all the Johnny Carsons, the Johnny Carson Show. Arsenio Hall took over for, I think, Johnny Carson, and they saw it as like, well, we'll just let him fill in for a bit until Johnny Carson gets back. They saw him as the next Johnny Carson, but he had his own. Arsenio had his own twist, and they finally, after so many years, gave him his own show called the Arsenio Hall Show. And he was and after that show blew up, he was demanding he have a seat at the table. That's what we needed to do. Either give us the seat at the table or we'll create our own damn table.
The powers that be want to keep pumping all the funds into the death culture, into the drug culture, into the sex culture. Then we need to put our money where our mouth is, or whatever how you say it, and push out those positive things.
Right, I get that, but sometimes people do want to see something. Like, you have to remember, some of the largest movies that we've seen about drug culture, it ain't got one black nigga in it. You know what I'm saying? Scarface ain't got no black folks in it. You feel me? Wasn't made by no black folks. Hold on. Right, but listen to what I'm saying. Like, you got to remember, the largest ones, the most viewed ones that make the most money ain't about us. We get a little smidgen in there. Our people will support the 2-3 films that become legendary. But we still a minority in this country, so you have to also look at the ones that they put out, like Goodfellas, Casino. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1,000 movies about Italian gangsters and nobody cares, right? But then let one nigga bring out a movie about boys in the hood, and now we ruining the earth. Come on, man. Let's be real.
I don't think that. I think you were trying to get it like, this is what we like this is our taste. But what I'm saying is, if you're a young kid and your mom fed you chips and garbage and bad food and junk food and never gave you any kind of healthy food, when you grow up, that's what you have. And so that's what our culture is. It's like you're talking about this. Can I finish? Go ahead. Been fed negativity, so this is what we like to eat. But you can grow up and be vegan. You can grow up and be pescatarian. You can choose when you get older. Like, you know what? Maybe we should evolve and say, you know what? Yeah, we got this little part, but that's only part of us. Let's campaign for ourselves and say, you know what? We're going to push out more positive, not corny things, but positive, impactful, amazing things.
Wait, right. Remember what I said, though? What she just said? When I was like, hold on, bro. Remember when I was saying, we can choose what we want, what we watch, right? We can choose what we listen to. I don't like Tyler Perry movies because I hate the images that he puts out of black men and these broken down black women. So I don't watch his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like flat out, I'm not going to support it. So when we say, oh, we need the change, be the change. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. But we can't demonize. Hold on, but we can't demonize the creator. You know what I'm saying?
Where does that come from when Megan Thee Stallion is on the national stage?
Oh my God!
I said be on the offense. That's what I'm saying. You don't gotta demonize them.
Here's the thing, though, because you're saying two different things. The first thing you said that's what You said that's hip hop. What's in hip hop is being pushed to the world. And you responded and you said that after I said black folks pretty much know all music. We are connected to all the music in our community. That may not be the music that everybody may not listen to neo soul. Everybody may not listen to R&B, but black folks, by and large, listen to all of those genres. We're probably more versed in our own music than
now something. We have to stop allowing the powers to be powers that be, powers that be, to dictate our lives and our future. In order for you to do that, you have to be what? Organized. Right? You have to be organized. We are not organized to do such things. Particularly, this is the reason why I said about an hour into the video, we're scattered all over the place. But that's okay. Because if I can get 1 or 2 or 3 specific people and we are agreeing on the same thing, and we can get other people to agree upon the same thing, and we're just all on the same page. We're just all on the same page. And if people don't want to get on our page, screw them. They don't have to be here. They do not have to be here, but in order for us to get where we need to go, we have to be organized. We have Tyler Perry, who could be the start of. Here's the thing about Tyler Perry. He promotes the same raw dog, yes, a mass of balls type of stuff. That last little movie, I don't even think it did numbers. Sorry to burst your bubble. Sorry. Not saying I don't have nothing against Tyler Perry. He needs to come up with something more than just the nanny, the pickaninny, the butler, the this, the that, you know. Oh, my son is on drugs. My girlfriend is pregnant. He needs to come up with something more than that.
Anybody. So we know what our music is.
Sweeney, we're being disingenuous. Like, we know exactly what Ruth is saying. Like, everybody's being so disingenuous.
She's
talking about the culture and she said the drug culture, the whole image. Culture, and the violent public image of Black people is like a world algorithm for what Black people are and what they represent. And I just when she said that, I said, for instance, when Kamala brought out your girl Megan Thee Stallion on a world stage for that rally, that is what is pushed into our algorithm, whether it's politics, whether it's movies, whether it's music, whether it's whatever, anything considering Black culture is within the drug, violence, and whole culture. That's what she is talking about. If you're watching a presidential election and you're watching a candidate, if you're supporting Kamala Harris and you're watching her rally, there's no reason you should see whole culture in that within a presidential rally.
The issue isn't that Meg Thee Stallion exists. The issue isn't that Meg Thee Stallion does the music that she does. The issue is that instead of Kamala Harris talking to people that actually matter and know what the hell they're talking about and bringing people on that will actually give her real things that Black people care about, she pandered and pushed and put Meg Thee Stallion on the main stage because she's a popular.
No matter what the intention is, right. Sweeney, you always go to intention instead of what is. The point of the matter is Megan Thee Stallion was on the stage, but she was on the stage. Go ahead, Sweeney.
Like I said, the problem was never that Meg Thee Stallion was an artist that did her music. The problem is that what Kamala Harris decided to do was bring Meg Thee Stallion on rather than bringing somebody up and having a real conversation about Black politics. That's the problem. Nobody cares what Meg Thee Stallion does as an artist. If she could have brought up goddamn Lauryn Hill for all I care, and I would have had just as big of a problem had she brought up Lauryn Hill, had she brought up Ice Cube, had she brought up any of these people, because they aren't the ones you should be talking to and bringing up on your stage when it comes to politics. What does Meg Thee Stallion have to do with politics? That's the biggest problem that Black folks had with Meg Thee Stallion being on that stage. It wasn't the fact that Meg Thee Stallion is an artist. Nobody has a problem.
For one, I do agree. If we're going to get serious, I want somebody that can tell me something about where Black people are going to be in the future, especially when it comes to our children. When it comes to politics, I don't want to hear from an actor. There are too many damn actors. There are too many damn actors who are politicians. I don't want a music artist. I don't want an actor. I don't want a baseball player. You had one particular WWF superstar, Jesse the Body Ventura, and he was a damn good what do you call it? Governor. He was a damn good governor of Minnesota. A damn good governor. But he's from America. You got people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of California. He's from Astoria. I think that's in Russia or something around there. We have way too many actors. I want somebody with some real political politics, and you can't have that. Then I am not interested.
With Meg Thee Stallion's music.
But that's what the record companies are doing. They're just like Kamala is doing. That's what the record companies are doing. They're pushing out the most negative things they can think about. But they're like 10 steps ahead of us. They keep pushing out this negative thing. It's always an invisible hand doing this stuff, and then we get the blame. I'm feeling y'all. I understand what you're saying. We get the blame for all of it. It's not just us. It is propaganda, and you can't the government knows how to have subliminal messages go through all of the things that you see on TV. It's always something going on. And if that's not true, why are they pushing LGBT in all of the shows? Not one show can you watch without a transgender popping up. That's not by, so we just feel like doing that. No.
What does that have to do with what I just said?
It has everything to do with it, because that's what they said. We're going to make sure that every Black person believes that they can only be a rapper or a ball player. That's why the girls always going for the drug dealers, because that's what they've been promoted on TV ever since they were a child. And now all of a sudden, when they're grown women and they're going after that, and they become baby mamas to these things, y'all trying to figure out where did it come from. It came from the TV that they were watching. It came from the music that they're listening to. It didn't come out of this thing.
Ruth, I would argue that though. Look, I would argue that though, because I feel like that's not necessarily, I don't think that's pushed from TV. I think that's pushed on what honestly women want, right? So we know women, listen, hold on, hear me out. Let me cook. Hold on.
That didn't take long.
Let me cook. Hold on. Let me cook. No. Let me cook. Let me explain what I'm getting at.
Still hurt me.
Let me explain what I'm getting at. The thing with the drug dealer issue is that women obviously like to be taken care of. At that age, right? In the community, the only person that has the ability to buy you all these nice things and what have you is at that age, a drug dealer, somebody that can buy you the nice things. Hypergamy is a real thing, right? So if you can pay for this, that, and the other, that is something that is going to seem attractive at the time at a young age, right? You're not looking at the morality of it. You're just looking at what can be done for you. So that's what pushes that whole drug dealer mentality, the Prince Charming, so to speak. He can pay my bills. He can do this. He can buy me that. Not many can do that.
You could have thought of anything else. I mean, really.
That, right? And that's where that comes from. I don't think that's
drug dealers only make $40,000 a year, but doctors make so much more. So if we had
how many doctors do you know though? How many doctors do you know in the hood when you're 17, 18, 19 years old?
It's
You
not
might
just
know
girls
the
in the
drug.
hood. It's girls in
Listen,
the
and then
suburbs
you
that
saying
want drug dealers
$40,000
too.
a year. I don't know those. I'm talking about drug dealers that were making 10,000 a week on their block. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying a actual drug dealer. Those are the ones that have the flashy car at 26 years old that the girls are gonna be looking at. That's
How
what's
they learn
pushing
that
that.
stuff, Law? How they
All right,
learn it?
I got another clip I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Play this clip.
Job.
Okay, if I can
Hey,
finish
yo,
my point. Instead of actually look,
Coon ass nigga gonna say. So that's man.
$40,000 a year. $40,000 a year. I don't know.
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this a little later. I think it's a interesting conversation. It's a conversation that we had, but I would just like to say for the long haul, we don't figure it out now, especially with this election coming up in November. If we do not pick the right candidate, who we think is the right candidate, we're done. We've been done. We've been locked and boxed. But people are coming in through other countries. Now you have Venezuelans here in the country, and they're doing people dirty. And police will not help you. But they're ultimately getting some teams together because there's a swarm of Venezuelans that are here in the United States. And I don't think you're in a position to give up anything. That's including your home. They're not going to pull that crap. They're not going to pull that crap on these white suburbs. No, they're not going to pull that crap. What they did in Colorado, in white suburbs. It's called gentrification, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. How else are they going to get the properties that they need? As soon as they walk in there and get everybody the hell out, and they start taking over, they're going to pretty soon close it down. And then, of course, build it back up to sell it at a high clip. Gentrification, ladies and gentlemen. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. If they want the property, they can have the property. But if you really care that much, and this is why I say Dr. Umar is not a bad guy, but people make him out to be. If you don't want an organization full of people that know right from wrong and know what they need to do in order to survive at this point, then you would do so. You would organize. Yes, I'm not saying that education is bad. Of course, we're going to need education. But the one other thing that we're going to need, let me see if I can actually. The one thing that we're going to need is organization. Full of people that get the intention of this. We need food, water, food, ration. Excuse me, water, rations, batteries, guns, bullets, all that to survive, right? And we store away. I'm not talking about them canned goods that don't last but a year or two. I'm talking about those canned goods that last for 10 years. And of course, you're gonna need your generators as well. And then, of course, you're gonna need to build your own crops. You want good food? All this food is toxicating. It's toxicating to the body. That's why when half of these kids grow up, they're already ballooned up. They're already ballooned up. I would rather a kid be sucking on a watermelon than sucking on a hamburger that we don't even know where that hamburger came from. But I do. You see any cows walking around here today? No. So where are you getting hamburgers from? Just saying. And we're going to move on to another one. First, I would like to do. I gotta promote this from my girl, Trish. Had a good conversation with her the other day, and she's doing an awesome job. Love the girl, but anybody who wants to go to New York, fly out to New York for the YouTube Awards, is free to do so. But the tickets are, I think you will have to get like a very good price range for the actual tickets, but never mind my ranting. Here we go.
Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025, February 9, 2025, at Laven Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an award ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. From 8 p.m., the diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 YouTube categories, and many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
Yes, if anybody would like to go to the live event, or you wanted to screen it, it's only like $9.99, basically $10. But speaking of money, if anybody like to be generous and donate to my coffee fund, which is $1 due, please, kindly please donate to my cash app. YouTube is effing with me right now, and I don't like them right now because they're always copyrighting me. So if you just fund to my cash app, $1 to be much. Thank you very much. Where was I? Oh yeah, Illasophical and LuckieMaree. I've been eyeballing this for a week or so, maybe a little over a week, and they have good chemistry. And this is not a bashing. This is just a review, because with Dr. Umar on the thumbnail, I was like, oh boy, what's up? But they're first aid supplies. I almost forgot about that. Thank you. Yeah, you definitely gonna need first aid supplies. And I did mention generators, but I just wanted to do a little review, of them actually doing good works. I mean, I've heard this before. I mean, their opinions, but I wanted to go over it again. And philosophical, that's a good brother over there. And as a matter of fact, people need to go over there and check out his live streams whenever time he goes live. Philosophical in the building, LuckieMaree in the building. She was here earlier ago. We're gonna give a shout out to LuckieMaree, and definitely Illasophical. So let me go ahead and fire that up real quick. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Fair use, fair use.
For a second. So, what y'all think so far about the Candace situation? So I think I like the pro-American approach because we're going off of policies. We're going off of things that actually affect our lives, not this, but the white man did it. Let's really get down to what we're talking about when things start happening. So I like the pro-American approach at this point. So now we're just going to get into a little rougher things. King Kong consciousness. What do you say? Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Okay. Period. And he's starting a what did they say earlier? A snow bunny retreat or something to free y'all from the shackles of the snow bunny fantasy. He talking about you. Just kidding. Hold on. Let's play this.
So next question from
before we can listen. Hey, it is what it is. But shout out to fantasy island girl.
Michael G. Brother Umar, you have eloquently articulated the generational problems. Do you have any active and effective solutions in place or pending that could have generational impact?
Well, number one, education in schools, obviously, from a psychological perspective. Until we have a psychological revolution, we won't have any other kind. Until you change the way Black people think, you change nothing about us. Our problems, we have the money. We got all the educated people. You understand? We got the intelligence. We got we got what we need. The only resource we're missing is the psychological resource. Black people are not committed. Black people don't believe in themselves. White power has convinced us we can't beat it. You see that? White power has convinced us we can't beat it. And this is a big reason why. A lot of Black men are dating white women.
Let's get to this nobody.
Because the white woman, stay with me. The white woman is the Black man's surrender flag. When I walk into a party with my white wife, when I go on vacation with my white wife, when I go into a job interview with my white wife, when I go to a business dinner with my white wife, I'm communicating to the white man that as much as I can be, I am one of you and I am on your side because look at who I'm sleeping with. The white woman is a symbol of the Black man's masculine surrender.
You think?
I know he's serious, but you muted. You muted.
I think in some cases that can be so, but I think more often than not, I think in some cases Black men will get a white woman to shit on the white man. Like, look what I got. It depends on how he moving. Like, if you still on what you on, if you haven't changed yourself, you still the same person you was from the city when you grew up, and you got a Becky. That's more you trying to flex on white society more so. But if you're like more acquiescent to them, if you're very, you talk a certain way, like it just depends. Like I can't say that can just mean that it's a white flag to white folks. It is in some cases. In some cases, just that's their preference. They want to show you that look what I could do with your woman. So it's subjective.
I look at it differently because I look at it from the Malcolm X standpoint when he was knocking down the snow bunnies, and he was walking. You remember we had him walking crazy. I look at it from a standpoint of what if they don't look at it as a white flag, but they look at it as disrespect that we are in y'all house with y'all women. Because I mean that's one perspective to look at it, but I guess from a standpoint that Dr. Umar is speaking of is the successful Black man. He leaves his Black woman and he goes to get this white woman to spend his success with and not the Black people. So then it would look like, oh, well, he wanted to multiply with us and put his resources into our community still and not his own. So he understood that when he got this success where he wanted to multiply if he wanted to be in those rooms. I've heard him kind of speak from that perspective. Go ahead.
It is in some cases, but the thing with Umar when it comes with Black men, like some Black men part ways with him, is him dismissing the totality of why men pick those women. It's just because they're trying to shame their woman. Like that's like a low, that's like a skate, like a cop out. It's like most of these brothers are not just leaving the Black woman just because they just want to show, just get with the white woman and fit in. Some brothers just they feel like they have a better relationship experience with these women. It's not necessarily about race, even with a woman. Like sometimes people do shit despite it, but by you just make it seem like everybody does it, you dismiss people who just literally just say, no, I just really like this person and she really just fits me. Because a lot of people, when they get more elevated, when they become more prestigious, sometimes trying to bring our people along is not always the best idea. Not saying you shouldn't do it, but sometimes our people are not. They might not just be have the ability to blend in or deal with certain people in certain areas. Sometimes your mate might get intimidated because someone said a word they don't understand, or sometimes our people don't be ready to be in certain rooms. So I don't think it's just cut and dry. It's just you're turning your back on people. You know what I mean? I think sometimes when you get a certain bag, you feel more comfortable with somebody from another race because they know how to handle it. They know how to act. They have the proper decorum. I don't think it's just cut and dry as men trying to just spite Black women. And I don't think it's cut and dry as women just trying to spite Black men. Some do it. Some just really like it.
Again, go to Illasophical's live stream. Does a fabulous job. And he has a more broader audience. She said Willie Lynch. White men, I would ask the question, can you name a rich white woman that is married to a poor Black man right now? You won't be able to name it. You won't be able to name those couples because those couples do not exist. A white woman is in no position at all to obtain anything that her white man, the one who practically owns it all, because he can flip the switch at any time and diss her and go ahead and grape the Black woman if he so chooses. Not so much of that anymore, because the Black woman has actually kowtowed her ass onto the white man, all because she feels better being around someone that has what do you have in common? Has nothing in common. They just like to feel good. They just like to feel loved. And for some cases, Black men have absolutely put it on themselves. Black man has absolutely put it on themselves for the Black woman to, what's the word I'm looking for? Divest. And when you divest, and I really wish Black women had not done this, but I see where they're coming from. And I blame everything on education, piss poor education. I blame everything on the parents. I blame everything on the father. Literally, you show no decorum to your Black women, and this is why they acquiesce vis-a-vis Eve, vis-a-vis Serena Williams. Y'all like to play around and play around and play around until they want something greater than just, a good if you know what I mean. F meaning, screw. They want more than that. But black men weren't able to give it to them at the time, and so it is what it is. And then of course you have the jujitsu system. Not saying both black men and black women have issues at that regard. I would say that again, the white woman is in no position to say anything, only to make her money. The white man has every position in which he had stolen and remixed, but his ice is colder. So why would you want to get? I ask the question all the time. What do you see? What do you see personally? It's not just the feel good part. Anybody can make anybody feel good. Anybody in let's just say who's the let's just say Stacey Dash. Anybody in Stacey Dash's position can say that they felt good being with a white guy. But does he know your pain? Black woman, black man, does these white individuals, whether it be a white man or a white woman, whoever you're with, does he know your pain? Does she know your pain? Does he or she know your struggles? Does he or she care if when you pass on, are you going to pass on the royalty is going to be passed on to the child, which is a mixed breed, but he's still considered African.
I think they're looking for, because there's a lot of, when you get to those certain rooms, it's black women who know how to handle a certain decorum as well. But
they do. But the problem is this: most of the ones that, I ain't gonna say most, a lot of them that do have the decorum in those rooms, guess what? They don't have it. So is the catch-22. They have it in there. I know a lot of very good, well-spoken, smart, articulate corporate women, but they don't know how to be the feminine woman at home, the passive woman at home. They don't know how to turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you bring those white women in those rooms, they're not even talking. They just there to support and say, yeah, I'm here with him. They're not even walking around saying, sometimes black women in those rooms, they do too much talking and be too social. You know what I'm saying? The white women sometimes ought to just bask in the ambience of being this man's woman, so.
I think he has a particular problem, and I don't want to say if he does or doesn't. I just think Illasophical has a particular problem with the woman expressing herself. And there are many women who know how to express themselves, but it's how you articulately express yourself, right? Like I have no problem with my lady expressing herself. It's just how articulately is she expressing herself. She's not going off on the rip and she's not cussing me out. She would never do that, right? Or she would never try to insult me in front of in public or in front of my family. She wouldn't be doing that. Some black women would, and that's calls for an ass whooping. But I would never put my hands on a woman. Literally, I would never put my hands on a woman. I'll cuss you out in the car, but I would never. But I would never put my hands on a woman. And sometimes I can admit it's just me. It's just me, and that I have an anger issue, which I have admit hundreds of times. I do have an anger issue, and I do need to check myself, or do it and check myself. And it is what it is. I hold myself accountable, and that's what we need to do as black woman to black man. We need to check ourselves. You know what I mean? If we're in a relationship and you want to sit me down and you want to tell me something about me, my job is to listen and take it in and analyze what she is saying. And if I agree to that, I'll say, you know what, you're absolutely right. And vice versa. You're supposed to listen to her. She's supposed to listen to you articulate about yourself and what you do wrong. That's how problems get fixed. That's how problems get solved. A white woman would never be in a position to say, I understand. I don't understand those things. I don't understand where you're coming from. I don't understand the hood. Do white men want to pay attention to any of that shit? No. He's got worlds to conquer. Are you kidding me?
It's subjective.
So,
not too early.
but organization.
Yeah.
You can't solve any problem without being organized. Until we organize, we don't solve any problem. So when he said, what's next? Organize? In other words, study group out in Toronto. How often are Black men together to study and to all discuss issues and plot course? Where's the bank in Toronto? Or can we start a credit union? Or could we start a SUSU where every Black man in this cipher is going to put $100 in a month, and once we get $100,000, we're going to buy a building so we got a place where we can organize our people, take care of our young folks. Institutions are 50% of the solutions. Institutions, school, bank, hospital, supermarket, manufacturing, distribution. If we ain't talking institutions, we're not serious about solutions. And the reason why we can't change our people's behavior is, in order to change behavior, you got to have control over the institutions that they need, right? If I want to work for the white man, he's going to tell me how to dress, he's going to tell me how to look, he's going to tell me how to talk. And I'm going to do it because I want that job, or I want that free food, or I want that housing. You can only control people's behavior when you got something they need. We don't do anything for our people. Why the hell would they listen to you? Until you can provide them with what they need, you'll never get their attention.
So I have a quick question. Actually, it's two questions.
So let me introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh, my name is Iman. I'm the owner of Activated Studios, Competent Construction, Activated Estate, Activated Trucking. I do multiple things.
Powerful.
Piece of Pan-Africanism.
Yes, sir.
But I would say, when you're trying to organize your family, like the men in the family, the women in the family, so many different ways of thinking. How do somebody go about that? Because it's very hard to get to the meat of the situation, because like you said earlier, it's a lot of bickering, different situations at hand that's irrelevant, really. But we just can't get past that to create something economically, so we can just grow as a family to, obtain power. Let's say political power,
yes,
or anything like that. So that's one. And the next question is, what would you say to somebody who in a hood? The neighborhood, right? Where they think no one is bigger than the hood, and you have to be of the hood because you're from the hood.
Right.
So
that first question with the family, that's a good question, and it's tough because family is the source of everybody's trauma.
Right.
Any issue we have, addiction, smoking, suicide, low self-esteem, it started in that family. It's going to be difficult to organize your family without first addressing those traumas.
Right.
If you got unacknowledged sex abuse in that family, you got unacknowledged abuse, you got unacknowledged adultery, you got unacknowledged betrayal, unacknowledged theft, unacknowledged sabotage, and nobody organized, there's gonna be a fight popping off every 5 minutes, an argument, right?
Right.
Same thing with the larger community. Same thing, right? We just go into the microcosm. So for me, if I'm trying to organize my family, I'm only gonna go to 4 or 5 people who I know I can trust. And we're gonna get organized first, come up with the blueprint, and then the relatives that they're most closest with, they're gonna pull in one by one. The worst thing you can do with your family, the worst thing we can do with Black people, is invite everybody to the table at the same time. That's a recipe for disaster. Get the ones who want to win and get the ones who ain't necessarily concerned later.
I for sure agree with that. Because this is one thing, like you kind of said earlier, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Ain't that what it is? So in a sense, why do we think everybody needs to go? Some people don't think like us. A lot of people are on the down limit side. They're not like for our people. They're not for anything that has to do with what we believe we should be moving, how we should be moving as a unit. So why do we even include their opinions or what they think when it comes to what we're doing on his perspective of being a pro-black, black over everything type person? What you think? You muted still.
I think the problem is black is defined differently depending on who you ask. Like some people being black is being hood as hell. Some people being black is something else. So it's like, so it comes to the conversation like, oh, you're not black enough. You're not, you know. So it's too ambiguous to lock in, because there's some black people who, if people feel like if you're not a hip hop enthusiast, or if you don't want to love in hip hop, or you don't like soul food, then you're not black. No, you just may not be familiar. You may not just relate to the American black experience in certain cultural senses, but as far as being a good person who's black, you fit that box. So it's like we alienate people who don't fit the kind of black that we like. That's why you got so much black people that's doing other things, that engaged in different lifestyles, engaging with different races, because they feel like, well, I wasn't black enough for y'all, so I went and dealt with this race, so I dealt with this person. Because at the end of the day, people are just people. Everybody just a person. They just like what they like. So I think when it comes to the generation that I think he'd be speaking to, which is our generation, we've been through a lot. And I'm definitely pro stay with your race. But when you've been through a lot of trauma, I'm definitely pro us, but I'm also pro peace of mind. If you've been through this, you come from the hood, who am I to tell you how to, as long as you keep it in a natural man and woman, not to knock anybody doing nothing else. If you're doing it that way, peace to you. But if you're just at least doing it heterosexually, if you may be with a white woman, you might be with a Spanish man, I just want to know if you're happy. I just want to know if you're with somebody that really loves you, that really care about you. Are you with them because you care about the person? And you're not with them to spite your man or spite your woman? I don't really have no say in it, because our generation went through a lot. And it's like at a certain point, people just want to be happy. And if they find happiness, they ain't out here shooting.
I would agree and I disagree at the same time. Number one, is not just all about happiness. What if you're gonna be happy? You're gonna be happy with a woman for the rest of your life. I mean, go right ahead. But happiness is not going to stop you from getting your ass whooped. Happiness is not going. It's not going to prevent you from getting your ass whooped by police. You think that white woman is going to save you from getting your ass whooped by the police? I almost cussed. It's not like there's a lot of African descendants out there. It's not like you can go to, I don't know, the Jamaican culture. We have the Jamaican culture that's here. We have the Haitian culture that's here. Go Haitian, go Jamaican, go Cuban, go anywhere else. There's no excuses. None. I have somebody who was born here. I have an American wife who was born here in America. But if she ever did wrong to me, I might just find me a Jamaican woman. Jamaican woman can make me some jerk chicken, F me good, and smack me upside the head and say that Cuban language. A Samoan. I would get with a Samoan woman, because Samoans ain't nothing but Samoan niggas. I would absolutely. But my point is, there should be no excuse whatsoever to go outside of the box, go out, jump the fence. I would never do that. I can't do it, and I won't do it. There was a time when I did, and I was 19. But that was a mistake I will never. I sworn when I turned 20, I said I will never, ever do this again. That was a mistake. I just wanted to get away. But I was too young and too. I had no. I needed to get out of the situation that I was in. And apparently, I found comfort, but at the same time, I found hell. But you might say, well, black people are so, black men especially, they see these girls out here and they go through what you went through, La. Others. But at the same time, you have to stop, think, and analyze your relationships. You have to what? You have to psychologically therapy. You had to be your own damn therapist to recognize the problems within your relationship and figure it out. Sometimes you have to be with your own therapist. Sometimes you can go to therapy. Both of you can actually go to therapy. And if it works, then the next step is moving forward. But again, I will never ever climb that fence and get on the other side, because guess what? You as a black man can change your ways. Her as a black woman can change her way of thinking. And both of you can coexist with one another as someone who is familiarized mentally, physically, emotionally. I know your pain when it came to slavery, when it came to your ancestors being enslaved, when it came to your ancestors who had the babies cut out of you. You can feel Nat Turner when he's cutting. Well, I can't say it on YouTube. Can't say it for YouTube purposes. But I want people to watch Birth of the Nation. Go ahead and watch Birth of the Nations and see where I'm coming from. But the fact of the matter is, I can't turn to my white girlfriend and say, "Do you know these Negroes out here?" It's like, yeah, I understand. I do understand, sir. These niggers. Simple as that. Simple as that. I never ever heard anyone talk about how black women don't fall over themselves for white men. We like and want what we want. You have some of us that jump over the fence. Ask yourself why. I said it earlier. I said it earlier ago. I said some of these men are messed up. And it's gotten to the point where you had to jump the fence. Not a possible. So you mean to tell me, out of hundreds and thousands of men out there, you couldn't find one? One? You couldn't find one in Georgia. You couldn't find one in, hell, Canada. You can't find a black man in Canada? You couldn't find a black man in Georgia? You couldn't find a black man in Mississippi, Texas, Oklahoma, California, Nevada, Washington? You couldn't find nobody? There's such thing as tenure,
Up shit. They ain't out here bashing their sister, bashing their brother. Who they lay with, it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a child with a white woman or a child with a black, and that child to have a child with another black child, and it can come right back full circle. So people just don't do the repair for the traumas of their past. And you can't tell people how to deal with their trauma. You just can't.
You guys heard it first here. Illa is open-minded to being with a white woman. Shout out to you, Bunny Hopping. Bunny Hopping on that.
Cap.
Problem we make in Black America with our families and with our communities, we assume everybody has the same level of commitment to our struggle. And we know that ain't the truth. Why are you starting with people who got little concern? Get the ones who got big concern. I'd rather have 3 people who I know are ride or die than 3,000 who I know I can't trust. But your second question, which is another good question, which I think is something that we ain't dealt with enough. And that is this tendency for Black people, Black men in particular, to elevate their loyalty to the hood above their loyalty to Black folks. You see this in the hip hop community, where you see hip hop artists basically saying, without saying it, because they don't want to go too far, I'm loyal to hip hop. I ain't loyal to Black people. You almost feel it. You almost feel it, right? Like, yeah, we might kill and talk about shooting and sex and the women, but that's what hip hop is. Okay, but it's negatively impacting the community. And they almost want to say, I don't care.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's fact.
So my thing is this: if the Black community cannot rehabilitate and re-anchor hip hop culture back into the community that birthed it, we're gonna have to destroy it.
And it's funny you say that, because right here at the studio, Activated Studios, I had those same conversations with different artists. And like I said, a lot of them come from New York, they're just all over and come here to make their music. And I say, well, you say this, but it affect. They be like, man, I don't give a. They tell me it's all.
It's almost like, you know, it's almost like, you know how we got the Black bourgeoisie? They consider themselves above. They don't have to answer to nobody else. They don't care how what they do affects the rest of us. The hip hop community is almost a Black bourgeoisie of its own. We don't see it as that because they act like they from the hood. But think about it. They're not from the hood no more. They don't live there.
True.
You understand? They don't party there. They damn sure don't spend their money there. So if you look at it, the hip hop community is really the new bourgeoisie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about it. The white neighborhoods, they all of them send their kids to white schools. They only act like they still from the hood to stay relevant to sell their music. They live in white lives.
Like Travis Scott.
They live in white lives.
Oh,
like
okay, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't disagree, but I think we put too much onus on hip hop culture versus what it was for. But I understand that he's talking about it from a standpoint of the artist, because the message is very impactful, and in those characters, I can just go be a rapper or a ball player, right? Those are the things that help you get out of the quote unquote hood. I also understand, because as a Black person who would be from the hood, why would you mimic something to sell it and you're not even there anymore? On top of the fact you're not putting that money back into those neighborhoods so that those people don't have to go through the same struggle, because you understood you signed a contract with people who tell you that this is what sells and this is what we want you to do. But if you look at what hip hop originally was created for, it was an outlet to document things that went on. So even for Dr. Umar, hip hop, I believe, has even helped him, because a lot of hip hop platforms have shown who Dr. Umar was in his messages. Dr. Umar, based on his message, I don't think it's a good idea to attack hip hop, especially at this point, because unlike Candace Owens, you will not get in those rooms. She will, because she understands where to placate and what conversations to have.
Well, let's not mistaken again. I'm not saying that she doesn't know. I'm not saying that she doesn't know, but I would tell LuckieMaree there's a difference between hip hop culture and rap culture. Ifatunde understands rap culture. He doesn't, or excuse me, hip hop culture. He doesn't understand rap culture. Although it's just all one sided. Hip hop or rap culture. Rap culture is nothing but I do lean, I do this, shake ass, cash, blah 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 blah. Over here on hip hop, which he plays, Tupac and Biggie Smalls a lot. That's what Ifa does. He plays Tupac and Biggie Smalls a lot. He doesn't play any of this hip hop or rap garbage. He doesn't like the rap garbage that is of today. I mean, he will play a little Kendrick Lamar here and there. He'll probably play most Def, but most music is pretty much Jamaican, Rastafari, feel good music. You know what I'm saying? But That's what I would tell if she was here.
Being pro-Black messenger, you kind of limit the access we can go to following your message, because you're now coming through hip-hop, when hip-hop is the catalyst of where we can speak freely, in a sense, because we can't go to country music or things that we also created that they cut us out from. So where would you like us to release our grievances so that we don't have to harm anybody? A lot of people lives were saved because they rather go in the studio and talk about killing this nigga than actually killing them. What you think?
I don't like when Umar said this, because if they were to say, hey, Black people are criminals and they gangbang and they sell drugs and they women are strippers, he would break down why it seems that way and delineate the two. So why can't you do that with me?
See, that's the problem with this thing. I'm just gonna have to delete a lot of things. Hold on.
Mute with hip hop. See, people got to understand the difference between hip hop and rap. Rap culture is a subculture of hip hop, but hip hop is not strictly about rapping. It's one thing. Is rapping.
Okay, same thing I would tell Philosophical, that Umar doesn't quite frankly understand the differences between the two. Quite just, but he's going to learn that later on if they play it. That, of course, like say J. Cole. J. Cole is hip hop because he paints an actual picture. He paints an actual story, and it's not of the same things: murder, steal, killing, none of that shit, right? That same thing with Kendrick Lamar, right? Versus a Future or
there's DJing or making music.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
There's art or graffiti. There's dancing, breaking, whatever. And then the fifth element is knowledge. So instead of saying we need to knock hip hop, the better statement would be we need to get hip hop back. We need to separate what's hip hop and what's not. We need to stop letting people misrepresent hip hop. Because he'll quickly tell you about Pan-Africanism, and he'll talk about he not going to let you just say, oh, all Black people are killers and dealers. He's going to say, no, it's not all like that. Everybody Black is not represented by that. So to be Black don't mean to be a killer or a dealer or blood or a crip or a hoe or a crackhead. That's not what being Black means. So hip hop has nothing to do with this stuff. A lot of the music that's even degradation, that's even degraded, it's not even coming from the area that created hip hop. And not to throw a region under the bus, but it's like, come on, bro. You got trap, you got drill, and then you got rap, you got gangster rap, and then you got hip hop.
I almost forgot about trill rap. You got the niggas from down south, and they got the people from Houston to Dallas, Texas. You got all the dudes up in there. So gangster rap started with a purpose, and then it ended up in something else. I didn't really mind it because, again, it's expressing oneself, right? When they came out with "Fuck the Police," that's basically expressing, if you're going to keep doing this to us, we are going to make noise. Of course, they got in trouble for it, but hey, rap doesn't say anything like that. Rap is going to the source and being the source of stupid. Let's just put it that way. It's being the source of stupid. But again, I would tell Illasophical this all day long. It's like, if you would have sat down with Ifatunde, Dr. Umar, if you would have sat down with Dr. Umar and you would explain to him how both sources are different, are separated from one another, he will actually grasp that concept.
Now, certain people might make a gangster rap album with hip hop elements. Somebody might make a trap album with hip hop elements. Somebody might make a drill album with hip hop elements. But hip hop has a specific sound. It has a specific point of view. And a real hip hop album is well-rounded. For example, Common's album, B, well-rounded. College Dropout, well-rounded, Illmatic, well-rounded, The Blueprint, like there are examples of a complete hip-hop album. Don't bring up no damn King Von song or some Trippie Redd song or some song that's talking about killing and drilling and trying to say, see, listen what hip-hop produced. No, that's not what hip-hop produced. That's what the streets produce, and ultimately that's what Bad Parenting produced. Hip-hop made songs like Self-Destruction. Hip-hop made songs like We All in the Same Game. Hip-hop made songs like I Know I Can't Be One I Want to Be. Hip-hop is one thing. Hip-hop is just so dope that everybody wants a piece of it and they want to take from it and turn it into something that they want to turn into. But that ain't what hip-hop is. And as a black man, you should be able to tell the difference and be able to regurgitate to people what hip-hop is and what people tell you hip-hop is. That's like the same thing he do with black people. He lets you know, oh, there's this type of black person and then this type of black person, but you don't throw away the whole black culture. It's like if you take that thinking and apply it to other places, it won't work. Hip-hop saved a lot of people. Rap is something totally different.
Okay, so let's say there's a difference between hip hop and rap, right? Quickly, he said you have the ones that they're not from the hood, they're the black bourgeoisie. Okay, so recent events.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say this is like black bourgeoisie, or would you say one's hip hop, one's an artist? Would you say one cares about hip hop, one cares about black people, or they're both hip hop, which is both?
They're both hip hop. They're just two aspects of it. Drake's hip hop is, he got the beats, he got the rhymes, and it's more of like a mainstream his music doesn't have political perspective. Like he's not speaking truth to power. But as far as the elements of just the hip hop sound, he has them. He raps well. He has wordplay. The beats are hard, and he got good music. So he makes hip hop music. He just doesn't make conscious hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think.
Come on, Drake.
Yeah, he makes it's like a pop version of it, but he respects the craft enough to give you the basic elements of it, which is lyricism, articulation. Like I don't think Drake is speaking about black issues. He's not speaking about the inner city. No, he don't. But he does.
He's robbing underground artists for their music. So
yeah, a lot of people, Biggie did, a lot of people did that. Like I get it, but at the same time, it's like with Kendrick.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know I was on mute. Bridget, why did you tell me this? I said, I hope everybody's having fun. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you hear, listen, this is terrible because I had my mic on mute the whole entire time. Lisa, I hope you are resting, my dear. And give me a cup of coffee. But yeah, Drake, he also steals. I'm not saying that he's not a good rapper, but he does steal from a lot of artists. And Kendrick Lamar just dusted him. So, but I would listen to both of these dudes over all this other mess any other day.
Kendrick has endorsed certain sentiments that I don't think is appropriate. Like he endorsed abortions. He did a whole thing with the crown of thorns on his head, bleeding, talking about, defending women's rights for abortion. Ain't nothing hip hop about that. So it's like hip hop is about, like Nas said, shorty, stop aborting your womb. We need more warriors soon, sent from the stars, sun and the moon. Like hip hop is it's pro-life. So it's like, and he's supposed to be the hip hop savior. So it's like both of those dudes can be critiqued, but the baseline of how they approach the music is hip hop. They really rap. They really put words together. Like even though Drake won't give you no deep record, Drake will give you an introspective record that shows some type of morality to a degree. He's not just talking about killing. He's not breaking down, the inner city plight, but he definitely gives you some some vulnerability in being a man and dealing with the opposite sex.
Yeah, the one to the right was Kendrick. The one to the left was Drake.
That's still a sense of depth beyond vanity. You know what I'm saying? That's still hip hop. You know what I mean? It ain't the deepest. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't one mic, but it's still showing some type of depth beyond the surface. Even if it's not that deep, it's still alluding to some type of depth. So it's like, I just think it's the difference between this drill shit, this trap shit, and hip hop music. You know what I mean? Even with all this shit going on, who's the real most decorated artist? Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. All three of those artists approach music from a hip hop.
Let's not forget Lupe.
Perspective, really respecting the craft. I really gotta have good music. I really gotta have good bars. So hip hop is still the epitome of the sound. It's just that a lot of radio stations play a lot of bullshit from a lot of different areas. That's kind of making hip hop a joke, but they said it themselves. It's not hip hop. It's drill. It's trap. So call it that.
That's a great point.
You still selling death and destruction to my kids while your kids going to $30,000 a year privileged white schools. That's what you call a traitor. The hip hop community has betrayed Black America. So why does it still exist? Because of the money. Black people worship money and materialism. And since the hip hop artists can provide it, hip hop ain't going to go nowhere. We claim to be Christian. No, we not. We are idol worshipers. And the idol is money and merchandise. Most Black Christians are not Christians. Most Black Muslims are not Muslims. Most Black Hebrews, Seventh-day Adventists, evangelists, Episcopalians, most African spiritualists, no, they're not. They are idol worshipers. Look at how they live. I don't care what they profess. Look at how we live. Are we really worshiping God or are we worshiping money?
Dr. Umar, I got a challenge. I got a challenge.
Introduce yourself to the audience, man.
This is Mouse Jones. I'm back. I just want to challenge someone. Just get a bit clarity from my own. When you say that hip hop isn't of the hood anymore, or hip hop has become this thing, are we talking about the culture of hip hop? Or are we talking about the industry of hip hop?
I'm talking about both, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah,
I don't like when we have conversations about the degenerative side of hip hop, and members of the hip hop community, which we all are, will try to scapegoat the degeneracy as gangster rap.
Yeah.
And say that the culture of hip hop is something different.
Right.
That may be true. But you know what the problem is?
What?
If that is true, why don't those who claim to identify with the progressive side of hip hop do not hold accountable those who engage in the degenerative form of hip hop?
How do you
in other words, take the BET Awards. And of course, BET owned by white folks. We understand, right? But guess what? The positive and the negative are on showcase there. There's no delineation made on all the hip hop platforms. The positive and the negative are on display. There's no delineation there. So if we want to make a delineation between what is hip hop and what is not, we got to do it more than in the conversation with Dr. Umar. Because the question I would ask people is Jay-Z hip hop?
Yes.
Most people say he is. Well, look at the content of his music. Isn't that degenerate? Is Notorious B.I.G. hip hop? Look at the content of his music.
Okay, so this is why I'm with you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we can't call a kettle black on Monday and red on Tuesday. Either it's hip hop or it's not. You respond, let me analysis. A little bit more clear. Let's take the African American Muslim community.
Yes, sir.
And Christian community, right? There's brothers who go to the masjid for Juma on Friday.
In the outside wilding. Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
And when you go to the imam and say, that dude right there just took a life the other day. You let him for Friday prayer. You know what he gonna say? Then he's not living Islam. But if he's not living Islam, why the hell he in your masjid? Do you see what I'm saying? You're looking for a way not to have to engage the negative elements because you ain't got the courage to step to them and shut that shit down. And that's what's happening in hip hop. The conscious artists and those who claim that the gangster rap ain't really hip hop, why you ain't saying that to the gangster rappers? Why you ain't going to the BET Awards and saying no more nominations for negative content? If you disrespect...
Let me get off my soapbox.
The women, if you promoting violence, if you promoting irresponsibility, guess what? No more nominations for you. If that ain't hip hop, why that ain't been done yet? Show me the accountability.
I love that point. I love that point because then you'll have people like T.I. and all these other people that'll come off after you just fed us all this bullshit to be like, oh, you got to get behind this and all this killing. You got to be paid to get in front of something. That is the problem, to be the face of something. But when it comes to real issues, the Beyoncés of the world, the Beyoncés of the world, the Jay-Z's of the world, the people who have made anything that to do with hip hop, who we made rich, off of liking their music, they become real silent, but only vocal when it comes to these elections and when they get paid for it. So they'll may talk about, I'm against violence, I'm a girl's girl, but yet and still when we see these things behind the scenes, your lifestyle and the things that you're promoting goes directly against this little message you telling us. Like, it's just like saying,
before I move forward, Lisa, are you okay? Are you okay? You know, she's my aunt. I gotta check her out. Are you okay? Put in the chat if you're okay to move forward. If not, you can bounce. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine. Are you okay?
go to school, kids. You could be anything you want to be. You can be a doctor. It's best to do that. Meanwhile, I'm coming to your school. The school is inviting Sexy Red. But the message here is to be better than that. But you're not inviting a popular doctor or somebody who actually created something for you. What's the guy who, he did the movie Pursuit of Happiness was about him?
Yeah.
The black man. Yeah, anyway. I don't really hear too much about him getting invited to schools or things like that. I'm just saying people who made a difference, people who are impactful. But it's kind of like they use hip hop to reach the kids, but the things that end up reaching the kids are the things that the schools do not teach. So then it's an indirect message that says, you know what, why the fuck would I even care about education or going to school or doing anything positive if things negative get me more of a lifestyle? There was a term when I went to school where you heard, well, shit, the drug dealer or the rapper make more than the teacher. But the teacher is the one that actually is teaching the youth, supposed to be more important, but they don't give a damn about their job because they're not going to pay nothing. So why would I go to school to be all these professions when this negative thing makes more money a lot quicker than this profession? So I definitely for sure agree with that point. They're not going to speak against that.
Yeah, he makes sense. But the problem is the community is messed up because James Brown and the Soul Review, that era, I don't remember them building banks in schools either. The difference was they didn't have a message that went against progress. The message has got distorted in the community now. So even though they wasn't building stuff, the message in the music inspired you to do something. But today it's not like that. And there's no parents to filter what you're hearing. So you can, if you got two parents, it don't matter what's being said, your parents can direct you what makes sense and what don't. And some of the rappers he mentioned, you know me, I'm very critical of Jay-Z. But Jay-Z has songs where he's explaining what he's talking about. He's saying Hov did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. He said, I had to hustle. My back to the wall, ashy knuckles, pockets filled with a lot of lint, not a cent. So it's not about advocating for crime. Can you articulate why you did it and what you gained and what lessons did you gain from taking that road and how you would advise a young person not to do that? You are supposed to articulate all these factors in your music. And if you can't do it, you just can't do it. A person can make a film about something. Menace Society was a graphic film, but it was a lesson in that damn movie. So there's not enough people filtering things out because, like he said, we don't have any family. You could play whatever. It's mad stuff in the world. But if you got the right parents at home, they'll tell you, this is what you do with this, baby, and this is what you do with that. You put that over there. But the parents are goofy. It's not them. It is a lot of the music, but it's the lack of guidance and filtering agents in the home to explain to these kids why he said this, why they said that, why you shouldn't listen to this, and why you should listen to that. There is no filtering agents. Hip hop led me to knowledge of self. It didn't lead me to the trap. It didn't lead me to destroying myself. It led me to be curious. So I just think that it's a lot of ways to take it, but it's the point about not holding other artists accountable. I agree with that, but some cracks do it. I remember when Nas went on the Hot 97, early 2000s, he called out Nori and Nelly. He said, yo, these cats' music is whack, man. They ain't talking about nothing. They ain't saying nothing. They ain't spitting nothing. So certain artists do it, and then when they do it, people are like, oh, he hating. He ain't got no money. So it's like, at some point, some people are just going to get tired of speaking up to the truth because most Black people, they just want to be down with what's popular. They don't want to question the majority. Most people think Jay-Z and Beyonce is the kings and queens of the Black community. Like you better not dare say nothing about them. So how can you even help people that think like that? So I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you said that because when I think of hip hop and what it's helping, let's say people, would you say 50 Cent is hip hop?
He's hip hop. He just don't represent positive parts of hip hop. I think 50 makes it's almost like a gangster element, but he has the elements of sound and rhyming. But
I would disagree with you.
He just not positive. He's hip hop.
I think 50 Cent. I think 50 Cent is positive. I'm gonna say he's positive because I'm gonna say right, but we judge people off their words or their actions.
50 divided New York hip hop. That was the action. 50 created a lot of division.
But hear me out. When we say hip hop and we're talking about people and he's talking about community and what it's done, 50 Cent has created a platform that has fed other black people, other black workers in entertainment to have an opportunity the same way Tyler Perry has, right? But he's not hip hop. I'm just giving an example. He's gotten to a point where he's used that money for support to actually create buy his own production company, his own land and things like this. He's actually worth a lot of money when it comes to Stars because Stars feels like if they take him off of there, they won't make as much money. I think he's deemed himself as viable. So I would say based on 50 Cent from where he came from, the opportunities he's given, even when it came to G-Unit and where he's evolved G-Unit, I think he's a positive representation of hip hop, even though his material, like he's saying, may give a negative connotation. But I would say here in 2024, if you think you can beat Tariq St. Patrick, that's more like a personal problem.
But you know this is why he's hip hop. But what I say that is why I feel like he brought a lot of, and I love 50, I like 50.
I agree with you.
But he divided a lot of people see, I judge artists based on what they do at the height of their influence. That's how I judge you. I don't want to see what you do once you're not as relevant anymore because it doesn't have the same impact. Like if 50 came out and made a statement about the hood, it might have an impact because he got clout from doing shows. But certain rappers, once they pass their prime, like Jay-Z, he's not going to have the same effect he had on our generation because he's not the man. He's the man now because he's rich. But when he was the most popular is when the young people would listen to him. So when 50 was at his height of popularity, what was he saying to the young people? He was saying, he was dividing people. He was saying, if you mess with him, I don't mess with you. He was dissing rappers. He was telling people's personal business. So it's like, when you, like Pop, when Pipe was at the height of his popularity, he made songs like White Man's World. He made songs like Keep Your Head Up. It's like, I'm judging you based on what you do when you got the ball in your hands, when you got the spotlight. That's why I say Michael Jackson is the GOAT because when he had all the hype and all the popularity, he focused people's attention on things that were not superficial. So when Jay-Z was at the height of his career, he talked the way he talked. When 50 was at the height of his career, he talked what he talked. But when Nas was at the height of his career, or Common was at the height of his career, they made you focus on the young people, focus on the issue. So it's like, it's cool what 50's doing, but at the same time, it's like, bro, what happened to that show you was about to do about Queen and Zinga? That never came out. So it's like giving people opportunities is cool. Like, for example, Nas, right? Nas has an initiative where he's creating healthcare programs for older artists who never got the big share of the big time hip hop money. Older artists that helped pave the way for hip hop. He's creating a program to get them in nursing homes or get them the right health care he needed. That's hip hop. Not just providing a job for people where the work you're doing is perpetuating a role or an image of a crack dealer. That's cool, but the same imagery is being perpetuated. Like if I'm watching Power, is that going to make me go to school or try my hand at
the thing is if you watching Power, you should already be out of school and understand the concepts of power. So that's where I just disagree. Some things are
we got broken homes.
So we don't say other movies is bringing down the white community when we see stuff like Euphoria or stuff like that, where you see drug addicts and stuff like that. So I think certain things is entertaining.
This is my pushback to that. Hip hop has 5 elements. The 5th element is knowledge. So coming from the inner city, you should know that there's a high chance that your listener does not have the proper parentage. That's why they know your music so well.
But how is that hip hop's fault? You get what I'm saying?
I'm not saying this is not hip hop's fault, but it's the MCs like me. I'm from the hood. So if you give me money in a platform, I know that there's a kid out there that thought like me, that didn't have a father like me. So it is my a black man who come from the hood, who know about what we go through. You should feel inclined to push a message that can help a child. Sometimes that is your responsibility as a black person coming from the inner city in America. I think everybody that's black America who has the specialist, it is your responsibility to drop a jewel on a young person. Yes, I do.
All right, let's go.
I think the accountability happens on multiple levels, but I don't think hip hop holds itself accountable. I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%.
Yes, sir.
I have a video where I discuss hip hop being in desperate need of a Me Too movement.
Yes.
I talk about this.
Yes.
You know, we've come across each other and stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know, through Charlotte.
Yes,
but yeah, I'm always saying that. I think my problem is that when we sit as black people or members of black people as members of the hip hop community, we can't allow outsiders. We can't allow people, and sometimes it's blac people that are outsiders too. Okay. Not every black person is a participant or lives the hip hop culture. You may be a black person, but the hip hop culture you may not subscribe to, right? So just because you're black, I don't look at you for that, right? I need to know that you partake in the hip hop culture, that you subscribe to the hip hop culture, to have such not talking about you. You know what I'm saying when we're looking at that. Basically, so to say that, I say the degeneracy, saying that is a part of hip hop. I don't know if it is. I know it's a crime. I know that it is a byproduct of most times it's a byproduct of of being poor and growing up in poor, underprivileged communities. Like you say, you're a political scientist. I know you've seen it. All the studies show that it's not a black crime problem. That crime is is when opportunity meets underserved communities. That's why when they talk about crime in black neighborhoods, why? Because that's where the most poor people are, right? Crime happens where there are poor people, where there are not opportunities, where opportunities are far and few between, right? So
it's not rain.
Is it? Yeah, that is.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah. So that's what I would say. I don't know that the degeneracy is a part of hip hop as much as it is a crime, but I wouldn't hold anybody in hip hop so accountable for talking about a life they lived or a life they grew up witnessing more than I would hold a journalist responsible for covering what's going on in Palestine or what's going on in war-torn countries.
On his grounds, a journalist is trained to report the news as it occurred without passion or prejudice. Our hip hop artists do not report their experience without passion or prejudice. They report it with both passion and prejudice, and they glamorize and glorify it. To tell me that this is all I can rap about because this is all I've seen when you're living in $1 million mansion and your kids go to a white school, that's a complete hypocrite.
I agree, but I would ask who still does that.
Who still does that?
Like perfect example. You brought up
who are the top 10 hip hop artists currently rapping right now? What is the content of their music?
I would challenge that most of them are not rap today. Or are you talking about all time?
Right now.
Yeah, I would challenge that all 10 of them are probably not talking about anything hood because that's not the most prevalent music right now. Yeah. Right? All right, so we're talking about trap. I got this. Yeah. You got Travis Scott.
What's his content?
We don't know what he's saying. But he's not talking about hood shit. He might be at most talking about like illicit drug use, but that's what he does.
But that's part of it.
He's the top 10 though.
He said top 10. What gangster rappers are top 10? That's not what he said. He didn't ask for that caveat.
Deal with both.
He said both.
Deal with the top 10.
So if the top 10, those are the people that are on. Those are the biggest artists, and those are the people that are selling to the mass audience. I would say Travis Scott, he ain't rapping about that. Maybe Kendrick, but he has balance. Drake, we all know when he talks that gangster, he's cosplaying. But
he talked the gangster shit.
He does. He has some of that. Who would be up there? Then Future
talk the gangster shit.
Future talks the gangster shit.
I'm telling you, Umar is not up to speed with all these day-to-day rappers. He's just not. Maybe Kendrick, maybe Drake, but that's about it. He's pretty much old school. I'm talking about Tupac. I'm sorry, I'm eating right now. Tupac and Biggie, and everybody else who was before them. Talk about these people now. People have to give him site and information about these people, right? Let's think.
Who then
21 Savage talks the gangster.
I wouldn't say he's top 10.
Yeah.
I would say in top 10.
Right now he's top 10 for sure.
Okay, boom. He's talking that gangster shit.
J. Cole.
He's not talking that gangster shit at all.
Right, I'll give Jay a pass.
Lil Uzi? No.
I don't think most of the country knows who Bossman D-Lo is. It's Sexy Red. I don't think most.
But you know what? Here's my rebuttal, and this is why I disagree. You can't pick and choose what you want to consider and not consider hip hop when it's all done under that umbrella and nothing publicly is being done to differentiate.
I think the umbrella is blackness, not hip hop.
He in my mosque praying. He on the street killing. But when you come to me and ask me to hold him accountable, oh, he's not a good Muslim. But he's in your mosque though. So you're saying that ain't really hip hop, but they all at the BET Awards though. They all at the concerts. They all at the
which is there to celebrate the work, not the human.
But you see what you're doing?
I'm just talking about I'm talking about the atmosphere.
Yeah, but
the
you're
BET
Award, bro. When is hip hop going to put some structure to the shit? Let me give you an example.
We're in
agreement. Let me give you an example. Just like on the CDs, you know, they used to put parental advisory explicit lyrics.
Yes,
there needs to be.
They still do that.
That's it, right? But there needs to be a stamp that says this is not hip hop. You see that? And let me tell you why hip hop doesn't hold gangster rap accountable. Because they the ones making the damn money. And nobody want to get cut out of being particularly included in on that. Why nobody rebuked the NWA? Because look what they were selling. Nobody never stepped to Big or Jay or any of the artists who was into the gangster shit because they sell. Nobody want to be on the wrong side of making money. Money came first. It's the same reason why hip hop was sold out to the white industry. Because everybody cared about the money.
Right.
When we were selling hip hop out of our trunk and everybody was having fun, that's where it should have stayed. But niggas got thirsty for being rich and famous. And they sold it out like every other part of our culture got sold out.
Specific
dance. I'm not the only thing, but I'm just showing
it's just the most vocal and easy. The only challenge I have.
Y'all can't be picking and choosing.
When you say Big,
disingenuous because y'all don't make no distinctions nowhere else.
When you say Big died at 24. We don't know where he would have.
I agree.
Went.
You still got to take at the material. I'm a big fan.
I know that.
I'm just saying.
But
our greatest artist. There you go.
We specifically want to talk about Jay. Jay's not rapping about. He's not rapping about losing 92 bricks no more. He's rapping about art and wishing he would have made better choices.
He's on his way to 60 now. But his first 4 albums was about what?
That was his access. That's where he was. If we're going to give them the room to grow.
But here we go. We're going back to the journalist argument.
What you're saying?
I'm saying he right about that because it's like I said, it's about what these artists do when they got the ball in their hands. Jay is a retired. It's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is popular, but he's not going to be able to reach the youth like LeBron can because they seen him. They heard about Jordan. They seen LeBron. This generation heard about Jay. All they know Jay is being Beyonce husband. A lot of Queen Latifah used to rap. They don't even know LL rap because when they got into them, they was introducing them as LL the podcast, the actor. Joe Budden's the podcaster. He's a rapper, so they're coming after that. So Umar is pointing out the point I made. It's about what these artists do when they got the rock, when they got the shit, when you are the man. What are you saying when all eyes are on you as the top dude in hip hop?
I know I was on mute, but I'm gonna say it again. Please subscribe to Illasophical, and please subscribe to LuckieMaree.
That's why I respect Kendrick. That's why Kendrick and J. Cole they get love because at the top of their game when they got all the credit, even Kanye to a degree, they keeping it real and giving you some real shit. And what Umar said is right. They need to just stop saying it's hip hop because what people are doing is they're benefiting on the house that hip hop built, but they're not making hip hop, but they're benefiting from it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
The Queen Latifahs of the world. Let's name some real positive female rap. Well, when I say positive, I mean when it comes to the community and those who address it as it be still to this day. I would give everything to Roxanne, Yo-Yo, Queen Latifah, MC Light, even Raw Digger at one point. Raw Digger, even Mia X, I will give it up to Mia X. She's held her own. She has definitely held her own, right? She can rap and sing at the same time, but why did she cut her hair off? I have no idea. And then it turned into Little Kim. Now, Little Kim was a prodigy of Biggie Smalls. But is she true hip hop? Yes, she is. And I almost forgot. Shouts out to Foxy Brown. Shout out to Foxy Brown. She was a prodigy of Jay-Z. But everything else after the Nicki Minaj's came, it cut right there. It cut off right there. And it just went somewhere else. The new era became the whole Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj barked off Little Kim. And then, of course, you have Meg Thee Stallions and you got the Cardi B's and everything else. It's just falling apart. Just falling.
Yeah, it's like you worked your whole life to be a millionaire teacher, and your child can benefit from that, but they're a fucking stripper. It's like, yeah, you get to live off of my name. They're not adding to the value of hip hop. That's why in Atlanta they don't have
They're bringing it down pretty much.
Exactly. In Atlanta, it's not a hip hop museum. T.I. called it what? He said it's a trap museum. Cool. So stop claiming hip hop. It's not or drill.
They're not reporting what they went through neutrally like a journalist. They are celebrating and glorying. Understand? Look at all the rap beefs. They glorify and glamorize because conflict sells.
You benefit from your experience. And I'm talking about you. You benefit from your experience, everything you've studied, everything you researched.
Yeah, but I'm from the ghetto too.
I'm not. We're not.
Yeah,
we're not.
No.
I'm
not talk about what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not even challenging that. I'm just saying you sit here today, Harold. We're all excited and we're all appreciative and cherish the moment we have.
They had to glamorize it.
I'm not saying they had to glamorize. I'm saying they made
something
was
from the hood, but Public Enemy chose to flip it.
Right, but that's
when
what
I look
Chuck
at
D
Big
decided
Daddy
to do.
Kane or Rakim, they was into the gangster shit, but they also had that other side of consciousness with them. I could deal with that because it was a balance. The Big Daddy Kane, the KRS, it was a balance hip hop. It's full tilt now.
I don't know if that's true based on just the level of music that everyone has access to. Right? If you have access to this much music,
I'm gonna give you the same argument I gave them about Drake not coming out telling everybody he black.
Anti-social. How are you, my queen? How are you?
Why defend it, and why not just make them accountable?
I think because like I said earlier, I think the conversation is deeper, and we're going to need someone like you and other like-minded people that are going to be able to have that conversation outside of the white gaze.
I hear what you're saying.
Where because this is layered, right? The same issues we talk about just within the black community and how the mental struggles and the PTSD that you talk about, all of that, it's all prevalent.
But I don't think it's ever going to happen. You want to know why?
Oh, I agree with
because the Jewish, Jewish companies,
they got
control the financial.
So it'll never happen.
Blueprint of hip hop.
I'm with
nobody wants to be on the other side of not making money, and because of that, everybody's going to turn a blind eye.
Which means the grace needs to come. Which means the grace needs to come within. But like I said, it is one of the. It's almost a byproduct of being black and being in support of other black people. No, I'm not saying that.
The job of an artist is not just to describe. It is to project. An artist, even an artist that's doing art to show you the ghetto, they are still supposed to project it in such a way that shows people how this ghetto can be transformed into something it's currently not. Hip-hop artists don't do that. They don't say, this is what we're living.
They are so afraid. If they were to do something outside of the power structure, they were going to get their shit taken away. They're going to get their millions taken away. Look at Kanye West's situation. As soon as he said something about the Jews, he went from a billionaire with a B to back to a millionaire, but he ain't hurting. He's not hurting at all. My only issue is that's nobodyism. That's nobody. The only thing I have issue with. Other than that, he brings truth to power. I hate to say that, but he brings truth to power. Anybody who goes outside of that makes their hood better. We talk about this all the time. Do you think you can make something is about to close down better? I say we would, because if we don't, somebody else will. Either they're tear it down and build it up to make it better than, and then jack up the prices, or they'll just take it up, make everything furnace on the inside, and then jack up the prices. We can never do that. We don't want to do it because we want something better. You know what my father used to say? If you want better, you'll do better. If you want a real big, nice little room, why don't you show me like cleaning up this one? Clean up your room first, son, before I start to put the Batmans and the Jokers up. I was a Batman fan, I still am. And he put, like, when you went to go see Michael Keaton's Batman, right? And my dad, used to buy me my dad used to buy me posters of Batman vanilla all over, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. He got me the Batmobile poster, and I was going to turn my room black, but my father said no, so I had blue, so I just stuck with that. But needless to say, anything that we were into, he would make my butt. He said, in order for you to have this, you must first show appreciation to the stuff that you have. We don't show appreciation to the stuff that we have. And so therefore, you want to move. And if you got something great, you want to move. How about taking it back to your hood like Ice Cube's house is? It's how the word say. Stay true to the game. I'll give you a lyric. It's the nigga you love to hate with a new song. So what really goes on? Nothing but a come up. But ain't that a bitch? You hate to see a young nigga rich. But I refuse to switch, even though, because you got to move to the snow. But soon as y'all get some dough, you want to put a white bitch on your elbow. Moving out the neighborhood, but I walk through the ghetto. And the flavor's good, little kids jumping on me. But you want to be white and corny, living layout. Nigga, go home, spray paint it on your house. Try to be white or a Jew, but ask yourself, who they to be equal to? The hell out. Stop being an Uncle Tom, you little sellout. House nigga scum. Give something back to the place where you made it from before you end up broke. F around and get your ghetto pass revoked. I ain't saying no names. You know who you are, you little punk. Stay true to the game. Give back to your community. How often do we let these words slide by? Hell, MC Hammer did it, and look what happened there.
I don't know if you was on a panel with me, but I was on a panel and I told people, because they always talking about keeping it real with these films, and we do not. It's called the power of projected imagination. You don't just have to talk about the crime. You can literally make up an idea and scenario and project that into the minds of people so they can mindset in these films, unless you know you're fucking doing that shit or you subconsciously allow it to take place. They gave us Terminator and all that in the 90s. Now you were watching, when I first moved to Charlotte, they had robots delivering food. Not like humans, but they had little robots all over uptown delivering food to folks. So when I see the 50 cents that get a contract with Lionsgate, when I see the Steph Currys that get a contract with Netflix, are they making shows that project what we can be, or are they regurgitating the same shit? Steph Curry with his high yellow rich ass, he made a Good Times remix that's worse than the PJs. It's like this is what these people with money do when they get this bread. They don't inspire us. And like I bring up the Black Panther movie. Look how well that movie did. It is, and it shows you that there's not only a market for gangster stories, there's actually a valuable market for people of all races that will patronize Black supremacy or Black positivity. And then when you give Black people a movie or show that projects that, like the Cosbys, what do they say? Well, that's not real. I don't know nobody like that. That's not the fucking point. You can aspire to something like this. You can aspire to the different world, but we only want to see hood and gangster tales, but we don't project the power of imagination. So that's the excellent point he made, and I've made it in the past.
But let's just say this with Black Panther, they give you this, even though he was weaker than Killmonger, but that's another conversation. They give you this, and Killmonger was more of the conscious person that should have been for the people. Wait. I get it. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, she is correct that Killmonger was more like Malcolm X and T'Challa was more Martin Luther King. Like, but the difference in between the two is this is more Hollywood, fictional type stuff. Back in those times, they agreed to disagree, even came after each other, but they came together, reconciled, set aside their differences just once, and they were going to make history, an historic memory amongst our people. But unfortunately, FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, you know that whole deal.
Then they killed. Just one, and they killed off the Black Panther hero. So now, then they say, oh, so Black community, not only did we give you a Black male hero, we killed that nigga and made him a woman.
This is what we're going through, but let's take it here.
No, what I was saying is,
oh, by the way, there are those Black men who have basically bought themselves, or they've been bought. I am sorry to inform you that Anthony Mackie has sold his soul to the white. There is a scene in Captain America, the new Captain America coming out, where he is portrayed as Falcon, aka Captain America, but is seen as kissing a dude square in the mouth. He has sold his soul. Well, that's to be expected, especially in Hollywood. You stay there long enough. What's the saying? You die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I'm not saying that Anthony Mackie is a villain, but he is a victim.
What it should let people do is go actually find out the story of Black Panther, because that movie is just one little clip, but he has many novels. But I don't think Killmonger was more radical and T'Challa was more diplomatic. I think they were two polarities, and I think we got to stop separating. Even in Pharaohs, they got Set on their left shoulder and they got Heru on their right, because it's your high. They're both necessary. That's why when since the word Satan comes from the word Set, and Set comes from the old concept of light versus dark. Heru represents the sun, Set represents the night. That's why when the sun sets, it's versus nighttime.
What he's talking about is back in the Kemet days and the Egyptian days, where Horus was the sun and Seth was the sunset. So it's basically light, dark, good, evil, stuff like that.
That's why when exactly. That's why when Killmonger died, where did he ask T'Challa to take him? To see the sunset, letting you know what energy he's representing. So it's not about picking one over the other. They're both necessary. We both have both sides. We need both.
I like that.
balance it out. Correct.
Oh, who do that? They're not progressive.
We're also talking about 9 times out of 10. We're also talking about kids. We're talking about young people who come straight from poverty into millions. There's that middle ground doesn't happen.
This podcast is brought to you by Norai Cellars Wine, the only black wines in Canada. We know what to do. Hit the link below and scoop up not one, not two, but a case of wine. This is a white field blenders wine. So make sure you go scoop that. Hit the link below. And it's NoraiCellars.ca. Let's get back to the show.
Negro, your most popular rappers, 30 and 40, still talking gangster shit.
Well,
not really.
Who?
Where y'all live?
We're talking about successful people. We're talking about successful people.
Are you talking about building institutions and saving kids? No.
That if that's not what they're
I
experiencing,
don't care how old they are. Why aren't the OGs checking them then?
because they want to be, and that's the problem. That is
They
the
want a
problem.
piece of the money.
Right there, we just found the
What
problem.
did I just say? We are idol worshipers.
But we can't hold the kids accountable if no
I'm
one's
holding
guiding
the
them.
entire culture accountable for letting it go on.
Yes, we would have to
You
hold
see
it.
what I'm saying?
But that doesn't mean allowing the painting of the degeneracy to then say this represents hip hop. Because if that's
This is not hip hop primarily represented by gangster rap.
no.
Yes, it
No,
is.
I would disagree.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
I would
Who
disagree.
your top 10 rappers of all time? Give me
Mine,
your
my
top five.
personal
Yours.
top, my personal top 5. It goes Jay-Z, it goes Rakim, it goes Andre 3000, Big, Kendrick.
Okay. 2 of those gangsters, 2 of them not, and then one is kind of in the middle. You're still at 50% gangsterism. Is that acceptable?
Is it acceptable?
You have more rap artists than you have hip hop artists. Hip hop artists are, I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier, is Andre 3000. Andre here, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I think him and Lazy Bone would have a fearsome battle. He could battle anybody. Him and Busta Rhymes could battle one another, and it would be a fabulous battle. Even though Busta Rhymes kind of sold himself on the other side, I still consider him to be hip hop as well. But we have more rap artists. We have the shaking your hand. I mean, they just come out the woodwork. And at some point, you're gonna have to get salt and pepper, salt with a deadly pepper, Spinderella. At some point in time, you're just gonna have to say, "Yo, stop." You're just gonna have to say, "Stop." Let's not go any further. Stop. Don't go no freaking further, because it's gonna reach the kids, and then the kids turn into degenerates. Then what you gonna say to the other kids that's gonna go right after them? I can't see my daughter being anything other than a Michelle Obama. If she was a Michelle Obama, I wouldn't say nothing. Just don't sell your soul. I don't see her. You know what? I'm gonna break my computer if I say the one thing that I know what I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna break my damn computer, so I'm just gonna keep moving on.
Who's the gangster?
The hood, bro.
Jay-Z was gangster shit.
But we've also seen him progress out of it. You don't get to progress. You don't get to progress.
Can I ask you a question? If I sold dope for 30 years,
Yeah.
and I gave it up, and now I'm raising my kids,
Yeah.
am I off the hook for creating a whole generation of drug addicts?
What have you done to amend for it?
What has he done to amend for it?
He's openly given money to underfunded communities.
Stop. How many schools has he built?
None.
Stop. How many hospitals has he built?
None.
Stop. How many banks has he built?
None.
How many supermarkets has he built?
None.
I don't care about nothing else you got to say. Relevant institutions,
In
bro.
that
Don't give me no
case-
handouts.
in
Don't give me
that-
no charity.
In that case, are you any less useful or
Absolutely, because I got 2
impactful to
schools
the
and one about to open. You damn right.
But if no one can benefit from what's different as of right now in this moment, if no one
Pop your shit, Omar.
can benefit from said
It's a
school,
big
then how
difference,
is it
because even
different
though
from
the children can go to the school right now, you're talking to a man who saved more black children from the school to prison pipeline than any black man ever walk in this country. I'm still in. How many saved from the school to prison pipeline?
everyone he's employed?
And people who question him about this school, it irritates the fuck out of me. Because if you've ever tried to do any type of business in general, it takes some steps. So let alone a school that's going to be for black children, telling us real history and things like that, it's going to take time, especially in a country where we have the money to fund a campaign to get somebody in office where black people come together, but not to build a culture or communities like he's saying. We don't say, okay, we need a quote unquote black community in each neighborhood like we have everything else.
But
so
this
when
is
they question him,
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when they question him about the school, it's just kind of like you're questioning somebody building something in a sense, but nobody is asking, how can we be involved to help this come together? It's always, oh, well, you do it. And it's in your opinion of questioning him, you're also making his point. Because now you talking about he should do something when y'all should be platforming him, asking how y'all can get involved. How can we rally people up to support him? Y'all do that with the fucking American president elect. I don't understand that part. Go ahead.
Nah, that's a fact. But I think the fact that how he's coming out is just making him an easy target. It's like you want people to forget certain things when it comes to other artists, they don't want to think about it when it comes to you. Hold. I'm sorry. Yes, let him up.
We appreciate you. I appreciate everyone for sticking with me. Definitely, if you're new, please become a member. There are so many things, so many nuances that we can learn from. We have special guests come here pretty soon, and I might just step up my game and become a gamer. Who knows? But do like and share, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. And as far as the whole Umar thing is concerned, I'm not concerned about it because half these Negroes, or most of these Negroes, don't even deserve a school. They just don't. To question a man who practically does this for a living, people ask him all the time, what do you do for black folks? Parent teacher conferences on Tuesday at 6:00 a.m. for free. If he charges, it is a surprise to me now because people always prank call him, even though he's actually doing something for your child. He's all around the world. He travels all around the world in lectures because people actually listen to what he has to say, and it's beneficial to your child and to the parents. Think of the Joe Clarks. Think of the whole Joe Clark situation. Think of Lean on Me, and it's a true story. If your parents had issues reading, there's a Saturday, an additional Saturday that few teachers will volunteer to teach not only your child but you as well if you have problems reading. I don't know if we have that today, but some folks can't read. Some middle-aged people have a lisp, like I have. All right, but I can turn it on, and sometimes I can slow it up. I can speed it up, or I can slow it up. Like, people have lists, people have issues doing things. It's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we have a member. Thank you, Antisocial Gamer, for becoming a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. And I have to properly introduce you, my dear. Thank you, Antisocial Gamer, for becoming a member of We-On-Loc Nation. Everybody go to her channel, Antisocial Gamer. She games, and if you're into games like that, and she just runs people over on Fortnite. Or I should be playing with my son in a little bit. So let's get this thing popping. Thank you so much, God. Thank you. God bless.
Is he a Conti?
Yeah, let him up.
How many people he employed? I bet you I say
From
more
Rock Nation to Rock Fella.
But my point is, to whom much is given, much is received. I'm not a he's a billionaire. Understand? So to your point, billionaires should be building in now. And I like Jay. So it's not about Jay. We could talk about Tyler Perry. We could talk about Puff. We could talk about Serena. We could talk about Rihanna. We could talk about Tiger Woods, Bob Johnson. We could talk about any billionaire. We're just using Jay as the example. My point is, if you're a billionaire and you ain't built no institutions for black people, what are you really doing?
That I'll give you. But I cannot.
And we can go bigger than that. We just sort of celebrated 50 years of hip hop. What has been the sum benefit to black people of 50 years of hip hop?
Outside of economic advancement?
What was the economic advancement of black America because of hip-hop?
It's the biggest export. Everybody in the black community.
I'm gonna ask you again.
Yes, sir.
How did black America benefit from 50 years of hip hop? And don't give me individual rappers. That's called tokenism and bourgeoisie.
I won't give you tokenism. I will give you
benefited as a people from hip hop.
Advancements in fashion.
How? Fashion. That's
no, I can't let you have that. That one I can't let you have that.
You don't control fashion?
Anyone that's able to make money, any black person that's able to make a living in an industry,
bro, the labels that
it's way more now. It's way more now than what was going on.
But that's not a real benefit.
I would disagree.
How is Black America benefit from fashion? What are we talking about?
Any advancement in fashion for black
people. How do we benefit from fashion, bro?
And they're boosting up their prices for bags by like thousands of dollars.
LVMH.
Yeah, that's not beneficial to black people.
Yeah. So
you're missing what I'm saying. When hip hop comes, hip hop is an entire culture, our fashion, the way we walk, the way we talk.
How is that a benefit to black America?
Because now people who didn't have access to jobs in the fashion, black people.
I want to show you real fast how us black people do not, us as black folks do not buy from ourselves. For example, this is Umar. Okay? This is black owned by Raymond himself. This is our fashion. This is our baby. And yet people complain, that's Carius and the singer, by the way, that the prices are expensive, but yet people go to Christian Dior, Michael Kors and stuff like that. And at the point of time, Tommy Hilfiger, right? You get a nice little bag. And let's go to the men's. Let me see. Sneakers have sold completely out. The reason why you don't see nothing there is the sneakers have completely sold out. The sneakers are completely sold out. Let's go to jackets. What does he have out? I'm wondering. This is our stuff. But white people buy more of this stuff than we do. I wonder why that is. So we still have shirts available. This is your culture. This is your culture. This right here is your culture. Let me see here. King Tarok. I have this shirt already. I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff from Umar. I have a lot of stuff that I buy from Umar. And let's go to the women's. Let's see. Y'all like purses? Y'all like purses? Look at the type of purses that there are. This is your stuff. This is your culture, but you dare not buy it because it's too much. But but you bitch and complain, not y'all in the chat, but y'all bitch and complain that there's not enough for black people. Well, look, there it is. There it is. But it's just not fabric. It's not accurate enough. So it is. I mean, it is what it is. Some people buy it, some people like it, some people don't. All right, let's continue. Let me see. Right here. It's only a few minutes of it. So only a few minutes more. Let's continue.
People specifically who didn't have access to jobs before the explosion of hip hop. 50 years ago.
White companies that make billions of dollars.
Take the white companies. I'm talking about black-owned companies that have.
Who? How many?
Fubu, Carcanine.
I'm getting out of here. What? What the fuck where Fubu and Carcanine?
You said it. You're moving the goal. You're moving the goalpost. You're moving the goalpost. You said in 50 years.
Oh, come
on. You said in 50 years.
You reaching, bro. You reaching. This ninja went back to the late 80s. No.
This is
no.
crazy. Yes, it is.
Yes,
but,
it is.
But it's not as obvious. It's not where it was before. But the advancement that those 4 men.
So 50 years on the Fubu jacket and some Carcanine. No, they put the billions that hip hop made. I'm supposed to be content with that.
I didn't say be content. You asked a question. I offered you.
Horrible answer. Give me something. A horrible answer.
Who decides
horrible
war?
Answer.
Who decides war? Literally having a glider come out with H&M right now, and a black person owns that line. To a black man.
You're bringing up individual people. That's tokenism.
I said the benefit. Thank you. The benefit to the community. There's always tokens. Barack Obama was president. Kamala Harris was vice president. Clarence Thomas is on the Supreme Court. Don't give me individuals. How did we win?
I gave you. How did we win? We're not gonna win. Hip hop is still looked at and regarded as a trash dump amongst white people in that music industry. So no, if you're looking for me,
yeah, but yet people collect trash. And they turn it into a miner. They turn it into a gold mine. How come we can't do that?
To say, oh, hip hop in 50 years has made sure that black people now are respected. And no, that's never going to happen.
What has it done for the people?
It gave you listen to hip hop music and you were inspired at some point, no?
Nigga, I'm leaving.
We're moving. We're moving goalposts.
It ain't done shit in 50 years for the community.
It
made individuals rich, and that's it.
It then gave jobs to.
They gave a couple jobs. The drug dealer giving out a couple jobs too.
But the drug dealer is essential to the black community in the ghetto. You can't tell me that somebody grew up in the hood.
Hip hop ain't done shit concretely beneficial to the black community. You gave me
incorrect.
Fashion. The first thing out of your mouth was fashion.
I gave you fashion, and you started yelling over me. But then also, then there's technological advancement. Podcasting, for example. Look at all the black people that now have access to jobs and ways to make money due to that. We're still talking about rap. We're still talking about cinema. We're still talking about these camera operators, these new people coming up.
It's cool to have social. Everybody wants to be social now. But you also need the jobs. You do need jobs. You do need freaking jobs. And this nigga here with that, never mind. I ain't gonna even start. I ain't gonna even freaking start.
Real concrete for you.
I just made it concrete.
No, it wasn't. That was all bullshit.
No,
give me a relevant institution that hip hop built in any community, anywhere in America in 50 fucking years.
I just told you.
No, you didn't.
I just told you concrete people that would not have.
I didn't say individuals. I said institutions.
I said people.
Where's the bank of hip hop for the black community?
The definition of the word people means not an individual. So I'm telling you, people that now of 50 years ago would not have had access to work in
individualism. I ask you, what did they do for the community? You can't give me nothing because they ain't done it.
People communicating now in a military that there was.
That's bullshit.
No.
Bull fucking shit.
No.
It's not helping us.
No. What's happening is virtual signaling.
That's bullshit.
Virtual signaling
ain't
happening.
That shit. You could get jobs. Everybody that shit. Even a couple black is you can get jobs from anywhere, whether they black or not.
But now
That's
you're
not
getting a job.
benefit.
Now black
but
people.
You're still talking about individualism, bro. A few people. You've been around for 50 years, the most popular music genre in the world, billions and billions of dollars, and all you can tell me about is a few people can get jobs? That's bullshit when you look at the cost that the black community has had to pay for hip hop.
What? Ifatunde, Ongun Tade. Ifatunde, Ogun Tade. Ifatunde, Ogun Tade. What basically Ogun Tade is talking about is like what China is doing for Chinatown, what has done for Chinatown, how they built Chinatown, how they built Koreatown. You're talking about that's a cultural group right there that has built on the backs of our taxes, has built for centuries even. Hell, they owe us reparations. Shit. But anyway, if you come down here, if you go all the way down Spring Mountain, if you come to Las Vegas and you go all the way down Spring Mountain, you will see Chinatown, you will see Koreatown, you will see Hockeytown, Koreatown, every type of town there is, even Mexican town. My tire was flat, on the verge of getting flat. I went to the Mexican place. They're open 24/7. And I got tired. For you can get a new or used tire, and they'll set it up for you right there. The only problem is they barely speak a lick of English. But it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter because they have social constructs. Or economic constructs, not social constructs. This is the thing that destroys Black people. Social constructs. Being socially economic with other minorities.
A whole generation, 2-3 generations of Black kids growing up thinking the best thing you can do is be a damn gangster.
I mean, he closed the door. He dropped the mic with that shit. That's a fact. That's why I'm big on parents, because kids need to know what's good hip hop and what's not. But Umar's right. But the people that push us in the wrong direction is the ones we worship. Like when Jay-Z said, "What's better than one billionaire? Two." Niggas thought that was a bar. What's better than a billionaire is a thriving middle class and a thriving community of people. Like if somebody's a billionaire, that means mad people ain't got something. The world don't even need billionaires. We don't need billionaires.
And who is the one billionaire who is still playing sports today, but yet has an issue with the youth? I saw what happened the other day. LeBron. I saw what happened the other day. And I'm kind of disappointed. Kind of shrugged off some kid. You know, it's nothing different from what he did in Orlando, which I'm not. When he was in Cleveland and he lost to Cleveland, it was what? Or he lost to Orlando 4-1 in the playoffs. Did he go and shake Dwight Howard's hand? No. He just went into the locker room like the little tramp that he is. I'm not a LeBron James fan, never was. But the only thing I will say to you is when they spray painted the word nigga on his garage, that was the sign, the pinnacle sign of a wake-up call for all NBA players. But Ice Cube set the idea of, making an individual basketball team, which ultimately making money. But I don't know if he sold the big three or not, but
we barely need millionaires. We definitely don't need a billionaire. That means you're taking from mad people just to do what? And Umar's right, because with all the money that hip hop made, fuck the Book of Hov. Why isn't there a Jay-Z, Sean Carter School of Business? Because obviously you have some type of business acumen, but the true story is a lot of these cats are not business savvy as you think. They still have the rights to their likeness and their name, and they get paid for people to use their names in certain ways, and you think they crazy business staff. You know, I don't want to make it about Jay-Z because, you know, I got a lot of feelings about mixed feelings with about Jay, but it's like we don't need billionaires. But the fact that he's the face of Black excellence, a man who's a billionaire, which means you're very greedy. The fact that he's the face of hip hop shows you that a lot of people don't know what's good hip hop and what's not. So Umar, he made some excellent.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got a lot to learn. Let's say, like I said, yeah, a long way to go and a very, very short time to get there. And I'm not shocked. I would not be shocked. I would not be surprised if one day some of these individuals, loved ones, get hurt by something or someone. And they're going to scream, oh, police brutality, police brutality. Some point, all those individuals are going to get their nigga wake-up call. Just like Tommy Sotomayor got his wake-up call, but he's not a rapper. I gotta go. I got some things that I need to do. I do appreciate you stopping by. Lisa, you need your rest. Bridget, you need your rest. Once again, my love, thank you for becoming a member. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate you all. And anybody else that came in the room. Lucky was here earlier. Salute, salute, salute. Everybody that was here earlier. Everybody that came in and joined the live stream. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Clever girl reading. Clever girl reading. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time. It's probably going to be possibly Sunday before next Sunday before I even go. It's probably going to be in the middle of the week. I almost forgot. Sometime Wednesday in the middle of the week. But then after that, it's going to be Sunday because of the workload that I got. But there's going to be, trust me, there's going to be more and more and more to come. But like I said, thank you all for stopping by. And this is We-On-Loc Nation saying, signing off.